Hola and welcome to Fire Shrike, everybody. Monday night again. We're gonna catch back up with these crazy space terrorists and space pirates. And I want to open the scene real quick here. Like, and we get like the mess hall on the Blue Ember. And there's probably like Ashira and Nurks are in the mess hall at the moment, drinking coffee or whatever it is that you drink. I'm pretty sure she's got some whiskey in her coffee. Nurks does it.
Yeah,
I don't know if Ashira does or not. That's up to you.
yeah, I don't know.
Um, but and it still looks relatively clean, right? Because you guys went through the one battle with it, but it's still a relatively new ship, and it's not like you took like laser fire in the mess hall. So it's still got kind of that relatively new look to it. And you're on Broken Rock at the moment, and the captain is out taking care of business and meeting with his contacts and stuff and what have you. Nurks had taken off for a while, but she came back. She was drunk when she came back, but that's kind of a permanent state for her. But she kind of came back. She was like talking about like going to boards and drinking with some Ifrit girl and Ifrit lady, and the captain is conducting business and kind of just bullshitting about like the pilot of Zeridan's ship talking shit about how she's faster, she's a better pilot, and whatnot. And there's a point where a dwarf walks right into the mess hall, and he's got like this big mohawk, and he's wearing a kilt, and he's kind of got like he's got armor, but he's got all kinds of shit strapped to him, like tools and what have you. And he walks in, he goes, "Oh, hey," he goes, "Right then," he's like, "I was looking for you." He goes, he kind of goes. He says, I'm a bit familiar with Nurks. She's been to Broken Rock a few times, and our paths have crossed here and there. Says, and I look forward to doing some brewing with you, lass. She's like,
Oof.
you've got a, it's like, I hear you've got a main brew going. I'd like to see what you're doing. And he looks over at you and he's like, don't know you yet. Understand your name is Ashira? I'm Kolnak Forgecore. I was the original mechanic for the Fire Strike. This is
Uh-huh.
and he's like and he goes, I just want you to know you don't have to worry. I'm not one of those kind of dwarves. I don't have a problem with elves or goblins. You know, it's a big galaxy out there. There's no problems to be had with that. All I want to know is, have you heard Compia Carnage's new album?
No?
He goes, "Oh, you've got to." He goes, "I'll send you the file." He's like,
Uh,
it's like
Had Nurks heard it?
Nurks has heard it. She goes, "Yeah, it's dwarven death metal." she goes, uh, she's like, "It's all right for dwarven death metal if you're into it." He's like, and he kind of comes over and he sits down and he's like, and kind of you notice fairly quickly that this guy is just he's while he's nice enough, it doesn't seem like he really is used to hanging in polite company. He's just kind of like as he walks in, he's like, "Oh, rather nice this is." He goes, "Brand new ship," and like he looks and he finds like a low crate or something, and wipes his boots off on him before he comes over and sits down. And he pulls out like this. He pulls out like this flask, and it's just this big silver flask. And he goes. So you know how the captain's got his blue ale, his blue brew? Well, guess who actually designed that? And he sets it right down in the middle. He goes, "Have a drink with me."
Shira, do you have a drink?
Sorry, yeah,
And,
I was in Discord.
okay, yeah. So you're like, so this dwarf is just kind of like, Nurks is like, Okay, fine. You know, she takes a drink. She's like, oh, yeah, I can see where the captain got it from, and just kind of like, I see. Um, so she just kind of passes the flask over to you, Ashira.
I'm not gonna take a big gulp because let's face it, I can't handle her alcohol. Or was it Nurx's alcohol we're drinking?
Nope,
Or
it's
his?
No,
cold
this is
next.
Kolnak.
Oh, then I should probably not take a big gulp anyways. So I'll just take a regular drink. Toss it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And in fact, it's not like the captain's blue ale, this blue grog. This is like got blue fruit and dwarven whiskey. He's like, he's like, I call it Sapphire Jack. He goes,
So it still makes her hallucinate, right?
a little bit, yeah. She
Okay,
didn't take a big
just
drink.
checking.
Yeah, she
I
didn't take
know.
a big drink. Yeah. She's like, but yeah, it's pretty good. It's shot of whiskey with blue fruit mixed in. He's like,
It's kind of like non-alcoholic Heineken. It doesn't make sense if you.
Heineken's gross.
Shh, we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about if blue fruit doesn't make you hallucinate, don't drink it.
all
Okay.
right,
Captain's Eye.
yep. Nope. If you're drinking or something with blue fruit in it, and you're eating blue fruit, and you don't hallucinate, that's not the real blue fruit.
Yeah,
It's an imitation.
it's a
Um,
lie.
it's all a lie. But yeah, he's like, he's kind of like, it's like, so tell me a bit about some of these stories of these all of these grand adventures what the captain's been up to all this time. He says, I've been hearing about all kinds of explosions all over the place, and I'm looking to hear about some of them. Or we could sit here and drink quietly. Yeah,
Oh, was he talking to me? Sorry. I'm
he's
trying to
like,
answer questions.
oh, I see.
Okay, sorry, what was it?
Yeah, he's like, he's like, so I've been hearing all these stories about Captain Zai and all of the explosions been caused by the fire strike. Tell me a few stories about all of that. I've been wondering how. I've been wondering about the truth behind the myth.
I don't know that you want it.
Oh,
Let's see.
believe me, I do.
Let's see. Let's go back to the favorite of everyone. Or me. I don't care if everyone doesn't like it. What's it called again? Luxusy?
Yeah, Luxusy.
I can
Yeah.
never remember that name. For some reason. It's probably because I had too much. So there was a time earlier when we were all kind of still getting to know each other that there were certain drugs brought on board and they were dispersed. And at some point during the night, one of our lovely female compatriots here decided to strip down naked and run onto. I think we were at like an airport strip, weren't we? An airstrip or something.
Yeah,
You
we were
were
at a
at
Yeah.
a manufacturer. You were at a
And they
tarmac
just started trying to do snow angels in the asphalt. And it became one with so my favorite moment.
So
Let's see. Yeah.
dropped to the ground and started becoming one with the pavement.
Yes.
It's like that sounds about like a captain's eye party.
Yeah.
You should definitely mention that the keepers were there, so it makes more sense.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, I accidentally blew up a dorm. Paid for that, even though apparently I didn't have to. Now I'm out like $6,000.
It was more than that.
I only
Like-
got $6,000 paid, I think.
He's like,
And then he died, so there was no point.
oh,
I think he's dead. I don't know if it's for sure dead.
Oh
Oh,
no.
he's like a dormitory. And he's like, it's like, is there a video feed of this? Someone, some
God,
way
I
to.
hope not.
Yes.
That does
Th-
not need to be. That's
Yes,
evidence.
there's definitely,
God
definitely
damn it.
tons of.
I don't want this evidence.
Remember,
No.
remember, we've seen all of that. That was like when we first found out, there were
You
clones
should
and
have
stuff.
erased it.
We
By the
couldn't.
way, by the
You
way,
can't stop the signal.
by the way, Shaba, are you watching all of this unfold over the cameras?
Oh yes.
You're just like, you're like,
I remember
who
that.
the fuck is this dwarf? Oh, they're telling stories about me.
Okay.
I met the dwarf.
Yeah.
That's true. You did know. You've met Kolnak before.
Right on Zeridan's ship, I believe.
I think you've met.
No, he was still on the fire Shrike when I first joined.
Oh, that's
Yeah, that's
true.
right. He was. Yeah, Shaba came in early enough that it was before Kolnak left for a while. Well, left for a
Yeah.
good long while. Yeah,
We like him.
he's. But
And that
he's
means now we have an elf and a dwarf. We are the best three-ring circus ever.
Oh my god.
wow. But yeah, I think this is kind of like Kolnak takes this time to like try to be personable and get to know like you and Nurks. And like I don't know what your reaction to this is. Like Nurks is just guarded about it for the most part, but she's just kind of like but she's just taking it in. I mean, he's earned her respect with like the the
The blue whiskey.
Sapphire Jack, the Sapphire Jack stuff that he brought on. It's like, but she's still cautious because not gonna let anybody into her little heart quite so easily after Nahir's death.
Aww.
Yeah. Well, she's always been a bit punk rock, so but yeah, there's that kind of and Shaba, where do you look to next on the ship? Like, what is the next video feed you pull up? Like, who's the next person you're kind of watching?
I'm on the Blue Ember.
At the moment.
I'm gonna try to find Zai.
Zai, is actually off the ship on business at the moment.
Yeah, he has one of those little floaty drones, doesn't he?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hack into that network. I want to find him.
You shouldn't have to. You have,
Nice.
security passwords in the first place, dear.
You're the head of security, or head of intelligence operations. That's true.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go. Okay, bring it up. What's he doing?
And we'll transition over, use this to transition over to Zai. And maybe you're walking back to the ship and you're you're talking to Zeridan. And he's just kind of, and he's, and it's just the two of you at the moment. And you're kind of wrapping up. Go ahead. Sorry.
And Tixpit.
And Tixpit. Yeah, because you have Tixpit as, sort of your
Oh
body.
my god.
Yeah.
What about God?
Sorry, my alert went off in triplicate and somebody hosted me and it was really loud.
Oh.
Wow.
So
Or ears.
I heard nothing but that for about 2 seconds.
Wow. So you're walking back with Zeridan and he's like, so with the passing of Nahir, I imagine you're probably going to be looking to beef up your, shall we say, your combat options. Although it looks like you've got a few already at hand. And he looks over at Tixbit, who's at the moment kind of distracted, like watching all angles because ever since you told him like you're my bodyguard now, he's like
Guard
like
must
totally
do
into it.
guarding. Yes.
Exactly. I love
God,
when James role plays Tick's Pit. That's fantastic. It's awesome. So perfect.
he's
Um,
basically just a more he's basically wall scratch, but he enunciates more.
yeah, he's just like uh, just super excited and doesn't quite know what to do with himself. But yeah, the like you see maybe because you're watching through the drone, you see like the backside over the shoulder, like Zaya's shoulder, and Zeridan's like, in any case, I did find you. I do have something for you. Someone that'll help you fill out the ranks for your combat options, as it were. They are a little different. They've been flying with Rigo Res for a while, so you're going to have. They've picked up a few quirks, but you tend to enjoy having quirky shipmates, quirky crew. Imagine this
And this
little.
is Zeridan trying to sell this?
Yeah, this is Zeridan. He's kind
Okay,
of
well,
like
in that case, I'm kind of optimistic. Go on.
yeah he's like if nothing else he'll be good for a laugh. He's one of those what do you call them vanguards. Um, he is probably not the proper way to say it. More like they. And he's sort of uh, well you'll see. They'll be meeting us at the your landing pad and at your and you're kind of coming up on that now. And Shaba, maybe this is where like the external sensors for the Ember and the Fire Shrike start coming up, where they can see Zeridan and Captain Zai approaching. And there's and you give me a perception check here real quick, Shaba. Oh, nice. Okay. So you see, like as they're approaching, like you're kind of looking around, and you think to yourself, "Oh well, all the way over to the left side, there's this puddle of some kind of liquid. I don't remember there being a puddle there before. Whatever. Somebody must have spilled something." And you're just about to like take your eyes off of it, and then it moves, and it moves for a minute, then it stops, and then it moves again. Uh, and at some point, like about the time that Zai and Zeridan kind of come to the approach, like they're like the cargo doors to the Ember or whatever, it starts moving over in the direction while Zeridan and Zai are still kind of talking, and uh, and kind of like comes up like right next to is it's heading towards Zai and Zeridan. Are you just gonna kind of watch, see what it does?
Yeah, I'm
Or
just gonna watch to see what it does.
okay, all right, yeah, it kind of like moves forward, and as it moves forward, it kind of like gels up into a shape, um, just this sort of amorphous shape. Um, Zeridan at some point, like you, Zeridan at some point, you and look kind of like looks around and goes, "Where is he?" And like you look around with him, and about the same time, you guys both see this thing too. Uh,
Hmm.
and what approaches you appears to be some sort of blue gelatinous, a blob of some sort, and it kind of like approaches and molds itself up to like a, sort of like a shape more or less, and forms like a rough face on one of its sides, and is like and is like, whoa, the famous Captain's Eye, Bodacular man,
What the fuck have you wrought upon this cursed world?
and there is and
Oh,
there,
Totally bodacious, dude.
Oh my god.
no
it's the
Bodacular,
chicken. It's the chicken from
Bo-
Source Up.
Bodacular, and the and fucking the Zeridan looks over and he goes, he goes, Captain Zai Volvetto, may I introduce Oshni? His kind of just sort of started to come out into the galaxy. They're called Selamids.
Oh, that's good because I had no clue what it was.
Yeah, he's like, they're called Selamids. Unlike most, sorry, I don't mean to be offensive here. Oozes, you might know, they are not mindless. They're of sentient intelligence, and this one apparently was curious enough to jump on a ship and go flying off of his homeworld. He, Rigo says he's good enough in a fight. He does tend to be a little odd, but he's like, he's like, I'm sorry, I keep using these gender pronouns, and he's like, and like Oshni's like, oh, no problem, dude. He's like, I'm having a hard time understanding the whole gender thing myself, so I don't even know what, you know. Let's just say it's cool for now until like you figure out how to like talk what you want to call me, and I figure out what a he or a she is. Like I don't know.
It's
You know,
mostly defined by dangly bits.
he's like, yeah. I mean, but there seems to be more to it than that. I just don't know. And it like reaches out a pseudopod. He's like, it's like, good to meet you, yo.
I don't know. This kid's gonna. Yeah.
I am excited to meet him.
Oh my God, we
Or
got a
them.
surfer, dude.
God no! Please
Right.
no.
Nope. Okay. So I bring up a picture and I'm like, whenever you form like this, can you look like this? No. No, he does look like the surfer chicken. All right.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
He can't take
But-
that much for him, but
It's okay. A chicken's a pretty easy shape to fake. Anyway, not important. Let's move on. So, what exactly is your skill set, sir?
well, you see, it's like the forces of the universe, yo.
Oh
It's
my
like
God! I can't.
it's like the powers of entropy and like borders and like reactions and how all of this stuff sort of like comes together. I can tap into that, man. You know, if something
I
hits
take out a flask while he's talking and
Yeah.
just completely down it.
it's
I'm
like,
gonna need more for this conversation.
And then put that flask up and reach into a different pocket and hand it to Zeridan and keep listening.
yeah, he's like, so I take all that energy when somebody hits me or when, things are moving and happening. And I use that energy when I hit somebody back. So it's not just the force of me, but it's the force of entropy too, man. Like the forces of, of just destruction, they're like, it, not like in a bad way, but like in a way that's like helpful, not to them, but to me and like people I'm working with, I guess.
I turn and look at Zeridan and I'm like, and these are moments where I miss Sleth.
It's just like,
Ah,
nice.
very well, very well. So
One of these days, I feel like that kid's gonna walk past me, and I'm just gonna be taking sips of my coffee and just shoot.
here's the problem. He's an ooze. It'll go right through.
Still be satisfying for the moment. It's fine.
The bullet will be like the coffee to you. It'll just go right through him. Ha
You know, you,
Nothing
I
a
think
well
that-
placed fireball can't
That's my
take
new
care of.
thing. Every day, I gotta shoot him at least once.
yeah, I don't know. That's you want to like be.
It's
Yeah.
fine. Just tell him that's
Yeah,
how I
sure.
say hello in Elven.
Never trust an elf.
Ah,
Yeah, let's.
ladies and gentlemen, not everyone that plays tonight is racist against elves. Just
The we can't hear you, Scott.
I think he was just
I know
testifying.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's loud here, so I limit my speaking.
I get you. I get you.
He just saying
Um,
he too agrees that elves are
Cantankerous
stinky poo
bunch.
poos.
You guys are assholes.
Right. Anyone that lives as long as an elf is gonna end up being an asshole at some point in that 1,000 years.
I've seen some shit, man.
let's like Shaba. What is it like? What is your reaction to this? You're like watching this go down.
Uh,
That's an interesting little creature. Wonder how I can get him high.
Oh my god. Well, Shaba's back.
yeah. I was like, wait, this doesn't sound like straight edge Shaba.
I love it. That's wonderful.
I would suggest just sprinkling some on the floor and letting him go through it. But
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
technically, that's out of player knowledge because I'm not there while you're thinking that.
Yeah, that's true.
No.
Just
That
just
sounds
out
fun.
of curiosity, Jessa, has Shaba found her stash of drugs yet?
Yeah, that happened last time, right?
Like, what is this like a?
The stash of drugs that Ezzy
The
gave her.
backpack that Ezzy brought
Oh
me.
god, the fucking backpack.
God, that's a
swear-
good question because
You know, the one's
no longer
totally loaded.
exists.
No, but her stuff would have still been in storage.
Right? Yeah.
mean-
So she has found it.
I was gonna say you've had
Right.
enough time to search, so yeah, you probably.
I
found
swear there was a
some
whole
of
bit
it.
about this last time, but
Yeah.
that was
Oh.
you were straight edge still, so it's interesting that you're like, hey, I want drugs this week. So that's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's kind
It's
of
called
like
a relapse.
Yeah. Relapse. Yeah, we'll call it that.
I think Oshni probably is like
Oh, shame. I'm gonna have to try and remember another name.
yeah, I think Oshni's probably just like so like how does this work? Do I like ask permission to board and then permission granted, or I just go aboard? I mean, somebody's supposed to show me around.
Yes,
How does
yes.
this work?
Hang on, I'm writing your name down. Ooze.
I love the fact that like he's just like Zaya's got
Yeah.
a data pad out like
Right. Shaba, you get like an update that we've hired an ooze. That's what it says literally. It's like, I just hired an ooze. His name is Oshni.
I send back. I know. I've been watching you.
You dirty girl.
Don't you know it?
Now, what is it? Oshni, before you get to actually do a bunch of stuff, you're going to meet our Oshuro doc. No, see, look, now I'm saying things wrong. Oshuro?
Osharu.
Asharu. Yeah, our Asharu doctor. His name is Glycil. And he's going to do some invasive tests and take some samples. And there's a chance that that will make things better. Just trust us on that. He's a really nice guy. And I'm like, you're going to go through here and then just follow the signs.
All right. Yeah.
All right? And I send a text to Glycil as well. I'm like, hey, I'm sending you something new. You should be intrigued. It was
Right.
intriguing, sir. You were completely correct.
Yeah, you get a message back that's just like understood.
Yeah.
He's kind of and like with an addendum heading for the med bay now because he was in the science lab.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, he's still trying to work on the problem of what is Melamy anyway. He's still trying to figure that one out.
Did we ask?
I think you did, and I don't think she necessarily knows.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. I don't. It's kind of like somebody asking you like what a human is, and you're standing there like, well, me, I guess. We kind of look like this, although some of us look a little different. I don't know what to tell you. You know. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, like he's heading for, and probably there's probably a point where like on the way to the med bay, Oshni passes by the door of the mess hall, and Nurse just looks over and is like, "This place just keeps getting fucking weirder."
It's true.
Like, eh, and goes back to her drink. What is Ashira's reaction to see it ooze just like roll by in the hallway?
Honestly, let's think about this. I mean, am I in my room?
Well, you're in the mess hall still.
Oh, mess hall still. Sorry.
Yep, because it passed by the door.
That's disgusting because it's picking up all the nasty shit from our floor.
He's just like,
Just sticking to its ass and it keeps going.
he's just like, that's nasty. I don't think he picks up quite as much stuff as you're thinking, but
Okay, then he
probably
leaves a
some
snail trail
particles.
I don't want to slip and fall my ass on. There's only one or two
That's
ways to go.
racist.
Well, it's not racist. It's a fact. He's slimy.
It's
and
specious.
Oh,
There you go.
specious.
That's specious.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Just
Oh,
like
okay.
an
Everybody
elf.
hates elves, but if the elf hates somebody, god damn it, freak out.
Right. Well, the elves are the
Everybody loses their
ranger
minds.
of races, so.
Shh, quiet.
but yeah, I think Zeradin's kind of like, well, he goes, just keep tabs on. He says, just remember, we'll send some envoys out. We'll send some people out and try to get some, uh, bring some supplies if we get a little extra. Send a bit back, a bit of that Jesuit back of the way for this way for the council. Uh, you know, special projects and what have you. We'll we'll keep some supply lines going as best we can.
Hmm. Okay.
He's like, and he's kind of like, and a good luck. He goes, your legend has grown something to a degree that I wouldn't necessarily think you'd find it easy to slip in and out of places here.
You'd be amazed what you learn when your face is as known as mine.
It's like, he's like, well, he goes, I have a bit of business to attend to myself. A little bit of is selling a few extra laser rifles to some occultists on Octurne. The hostilities between the Dominion of the Black and the local cult of Nyarlathotep is sort of heated up, I believe.
Hmm. Watch yourself.
Oh, always, always, and more importantly, watch my credits. And
Ha 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 ha.
and he kind of gives you a smile, and turns to head off back to his ship, back to the
Right.
Vendetta. And
Very well.
I want to cut away here real quick because I want to catch up with Vesa and Xander. So and Plu.
And
Plu,
Xander.
and Xander, yeah.
He had
So
his headphones off when you said it.
yeah, you guys are kind of, you're on Vesk Prime. And they basically, the Sarkaz, the local like leader of the militia or whatever, law enforcement, he's wanted to question you about what you knew about the Polonus Independence Front, um, because Xander, a whole bunch of Patra, jumped in and stopped some Vesk from trying to attack you for some unknown reason. And when the Sorokaz investigated, he found out that they were part of the Polonus Independence Front, or at least he believes they are. So he's questioning your connection to them and what have you. But your ambassador Elliot uh, did at least buy you some time. Like, look, you're gonna have to go through the proper forms. You're not gonna, you can't just like take him into custody. These people into custody just like that. They're citizens of the pack worlds, all that good stuff. Um, but I think you and uh, Vesa were having a discussion about like whether or not to look into this and why these people might have attacked you. And you're backstage at a Keepers of the Secret concert right now. So lots of drugs are there, lots of alcohol. And the Keepers have just finished their set and they're coming off of the stage. Um, they're and just kind of like doing the rock star thing.
I'm
Uh,
gonna slightly fangirl, just like a little.
right?
Like, oh my god, hey, hey.
Yeah. Scott's Void Soul sort of like he comes in, he's wearing like his leather jacket, like just open, no shirt on underneath, and a chain with the symbol of Nyarlathotep around it on it, and he's got like the spiky metal like gloves and the leather pants and what have you. It's like the big fucking long hair. One side is shaved. There's like a streak of like there's a streak of blue that's like in the other like in it that's like dyed into his hair and what have you. And for whatever reason, he puts shades on. It's not like he needs them. It's nighttime and he's inside, so
Just cool. He's just there.
you know, he just he's like, well, so we are talking about is like, and he's like talking to a couple of girls that have like already a couple of the girls that have flocked to, whatever girls have flocked to him. He's like, oh, and that's when we met Captain Volvetto. Oh no, he's twice as tall as you think he is. He's easily 6'8", 6'9". Right, he's a right mean bastard. You don't want to get on his bad side. And he just starts telling some story that like um that just sounds like that makes it sound like he's like, and that's when we discovered the secrets on that on the planet surface. They were trying to hide in that old temple, and the record company sent Zai out for us, and he was like, look, you got to go back to your responsibilities. You've got fans waiting for you. And we're like, well, I think we're done here anyway.
Mhm.
So, and he's telling a story about partying with the infamous Captain Zai at the moment. Uh, and there's a few, there's a few Vesk, women that are like, apparently very into the story at the moment.
I feel like I'm also into the story, but at a distance. Like I can really
Right?
hear it, right? Like I'm just like, that's cool, but I don't want to interfere because I'm not looking for a hookup. I'm just kind of like
Right.
interested in what you have to say.
Oh yeah. Yeah. He's totally telling, rock star stories, I know infamous pirates and criminals, I'm a dangerous man, because Nyarlathotep is a evil god, he's the god of like conspiracies and shit. And they're very openly and publicly talk about how they worship him. Whether they do or there are some people who say that they don't really worship Nyarlathotep. It's just all a show. It's just part of their act and their deal.
Mhm.
Um, but they wear the symbols and they talk about it all the time. So who knows? Um, but he's doing the total rock star story thing. Um,
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a moment to gather the look of him and record it in my database for future use.
right on. He's kind of like studying how he's dressed and like how he's doing his thing. Right on, cool. Um, and I think that like you have plenty of opportunity here to go ahead and sort of like party or or partake of or yeah. Then there is the crafts table is still there with that strange meat that came from you're not entirely certain where.
I feel like I've been picking at it for a while. Like as we've been back there, just like this is fine. What are you gonna do? No one's gonna fight me. Um. So, uh, um, I want to ask him if he knows where Captain Zai is now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he managed to get just enough of a break, and he's like, "Well, where's Captain's Eye now?" Well, the last I heard, he was out. Last I heard, he was out in he was out in one of those colony systems, fighting against the Hell Knights. Dangerous folk, but they don't know
Mm.
what they're getting into, and going up against the great Captain's Eye. He's like, he says, and most people don't know this. But Captain Zai is a master of many talents. I don't think there's anything I've seen him try that he didn't actually, have some proficiency with.
Hmm.
Building things, running computers, flying the ship, and, you know, overall just knows how to do a lot of stuff. It's like, not everybody knows that. You always hear about how dangerous he is in a fight, and he is that. But not a lot of people know the full truth. It's like, and he's like, he says, if you head out, he goes, he says, I believe I've got coordinates for I believe I've got the number for the Strix ship that was going to go into battle with him. Did a concert for them Strix. Yeah, they were like, and you know what? It was even a crazier deal than that, because you remember Isolé Soroval, the pop star, the sea pop star out of Carsreville?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
he even did a show with us for the Strix.
Kidding.
No, it was weird.
Hmm.
He's like, I didn't think he would collaborate like that. He's like, but he did. He's like, and he kind of like takes a moment and he goes, and he looks over at the bass player and say, hey, have you still got them numbers for that Strix transport? The capital one. Yeah, that one. Right. And he kind of like grabs it and he looks down at his communication pad and he's like, oh right. He goes, you got your communicator handy. And he's like, eh, he's like, no, I don't just give it. I can't just give you Captain Zai's number. Wouldn't be proper, wouldn't be right, and you got to keep a few secrets. But
Mm.
I could maybe get you on the hint and the trail of finding the man if you're looking. Like, it's
You're
like
so open and you're so willing to give this information or just any information. Um, I mean, what's a phone number? I could probably get it from someone else. That's fine. But I and I don't really want to contact him right now per se. It's just something nice to have in your back pocket.
he's like, to tell you the truth, I've been off me rock or stone since the second song. And
Dude,
he,
you
he goes, I don't even know what I'm saying. I can't even remember. They, they could. I had to be reminded what an encore was. That's
oh,
embarrassing. He
that's okay.
goes,
I'm here for
and
you.
he's just like, and but like there's maybe like his manager comes up and their manager comes up or road manager comes up and is like, hey, I got hey guys, I got to talk to you for a minute. And he's, oh, hold on, I'll be back. He goes, maybe if I don't remember. And he's just kind of like,
Oh,
and he kind of wanders off. Like, but you now have the number for a Strix, like a big strict, capital ship that Zai apparently had some business with.
okay. Good to know. I am going to give that information to Xander because he likes information.
Like,
Yeah,
Look what I
I've been
found.
taking notes this whole conversation, like full extensive notes, and yeah, I've been writing it all down and add that to it.
Cool.
right on, right on.
Are you a stenographer?
I don't know what that word means.
That's the person in the courtroom that takes down what everybody says really fast on that little typewriter.
I don't know if he has ranks in profession stenographer. Considering he didn't want to know what it is until just now, probably not.
Hmm.
Probably just adept at entering information into computers fairly quickly.
Hmm.
Um,
I understand.
I mean, I worked in a library and cataloged things, and that it's just part of who I am is to gather as much information when I'm around.
That sounds fun.
right on. So, what is your next move here, Vesa and Xander?
Oh,
Plu, because Plu has returned from wherever he wandered off to.
I like Blue. I like him a whole lot.
He's like, wow, yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, wow, this is so cool.
I'd like to figure out what happened, but also in like a really casual way.
Right.
'Cause it's not my fight. It's like this guy's still a stranger. And I'm like, I'm interested and I'd like to help you. However, if it's going to be really detrimental, maybe I just get you in touch with the right people and blow it off.
I mean, I would want to know why, who is attacking me, and why the other is helping. You know, I want the full story so I can fully document it too, and what their purpose is for the whatever this Independence League is. I really don't know anything much about them, but I would like to know more about them and could record information about them.
So, Xander, I want you to make a I want you to make a perception check, and maybe this is sort of like you going. Maybe we get the flashback of you going over the events in your head, and I want to see if you caught something. Yeah. Um. So what you caught was that these things were wearing a symbol. You know, these vests were wearing a symbol of some sort, and it appeared to be a a chest made of obsidian. And it wasn't like a literal chest, but the emblem looked like a chest made of obsidian with with sort of like uh, an eye in the keyhole. So that could get you. So
Okay, so I would need to research that symbol, see if I can get to somewhere to research what that symbol is associated with.
all right, yeah, cool. So um, well, you know that there's like your room in the consulate. All right. So like Representative Togan is like are you sure? I mean, it's just the party's just getting started. I mean, I know Sarkaz over there. Sarkaz can be a bit of a rain cloud on the proceedings, but you've got at least 24 to 48 hours before the paperwork is filled out and there has to be some sort of like um, you know, hearing on the situation. And
All right, I could
Vasa,
probably stay for a little bit longer, but might as well. Where's my drink? Give me a drink then.
yeah, Vasa, you kind of probably see like Xander have this conversation with Representative Togan,
Hmm.
which yeah, there's a but yeah, as you're kind of going along, like maybe there is a as you're kind of going through the night and whatnot, there is an android that is with the band, um, but he doesn't really like. He kind of has stayed in the background, even when he was on the stage DJing, and he's kind of sitting and he's kind of taking his, you know, as he kind of walks by you, uh, Xander, like. Well, actually, he kind of walks over. He goes, ah, another android. Not as many of us around here in the Vescarium. He goes, I am Crypt X. He's like, pleased to make your acquaintance. What
Hello.
brings you? What brings you to the Vescarium?
Short of equipment malfunction, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm trying to figure it out. I think somebody forced me to come here, but we're getting to the bottom of that, I guess.
He's like, forced you? He goes, what would make you think that?
I don't know. I was just going back to the school to do my findings from my previous adventure, and apparently the ship said, "Nope, you're coming here." But I was enjoying the show, and apparently other people didn't like me being there.
Other people, did they say anything?
Didn't really get a chance before other people stopped them from attacking me.
Oh wait, you were part of that incident down by the pit, by the mosh pit. Here's, it says, tell me, did you happen to see any? Did you happen to see any things that would give you an idea of what is possibly, of what is possibly?
I really don't have much data to run on to at this point. I have a little bit to go on, but I have to do further research to fully understand the full circumstances of the situation.
He's like, ah, he says, I understand. Well, if I could be of any assistance, I am always willing to help out. He says, we will be here for another day or two. Is depending on how fucked up the band gets. It was like, let me give you my number, and there is and it kind of like gives you his number, and there is but yeah, and let me get a further perception check from you. Oh, fucking nice. You nailed it. Um, it doesn't take you but half a second to before you see like emblazoned on the bottom in like sort it underneath the just underneath the code for his like number and whatnot, you see a very familiar symbol. Um, one that you probably have some background with or knowledge thereof. Let me see, because I want to describe it correctly. A fist made of circuitry and computer parts. It's the symbol of the Android Abolitionist Front. So, um, and this to explain, and for those who in the audience who may not know this about the lore, in Starfinder, in the Pact worlds at least, and in other places, androids and sentient robotic organisms both gained legal citizen status as and rights as individuals. Some, what is it, 50 years ago, something like that. So not in relatively recent history, but not too near. But there are still people who consider androids and sentient robot organisms like property, and this is sort of there is sort of android and robot trafficking that goes on, and the Android Abolitionist Front is on the front lines of fighting this. Whether it's in other systems and other empires where the laws are different, or whether it's the underground market within the Pact world. Um, but this Crypt X apparently has some connection to the Android Abolitionist Front and is offering aid.
So could the attack be that they don't think I should have freedoms as an android then?
Possibly, or it's entirely possible that he, as a member of as an android and a member of the Abolitionist Front, he just wants to help you because he figures that a sense of community, perhaps, so you're one of us kind of thing. If you need help, it could be connected to what he does, but it could also not be. It could be just you know, hey, I do know some, this is you're possibly in need, and that's what we do.
Yeah. Well, upon seeing that, I think I would be more willing to divulge the symbol that I saw,
Mm-hmm.
and that I want to learn more about what that symbol is associated with and whatnot. And when I see his, that's when I want to tell him about that chest of obsidian or whatnot, and figuring out more about that chest symbol.
He thinks about it for a minute. He goes, and he lets out a low whistle, and he goes, I think we may have some information regarding that on the Empty Man's on the Empty Man. What is this? The 13th or 14th?
14.
They keep wrecking the ship, but they're surprisingly I have been able to maintain much of our data stores from one ship to the other. Is if you will, if you wish, I can take you to the ship, and we can work on and we can look into this.
Yeah, just whenever you're free to do that, I'll be around to do that. I don't want to rush you guys out of you and the rest of your group of whatever you're going to do the rest of tonight, but whenever you get a chance, I guess.
Well, then at your convenience, sometime, possibly tomorrow. Like I say, we won't be staying long. So, but you have some time at least. If you're willing, if you wish some help, I will see what I can do. And he says, and he's kind of like, uh, he's like, let me buy you a drink. And he goes over and he's like, goes to basically it's a cooler next to a high tech cooler, but a cooler nonetheless, by the craft bar, and grabs a beer and brings it back over for you.
This is loud.
Loud.
We hear
I'm going to do a
you.
little.
And Vesa, you see this exchange. You see this other android who
Okay.
was on stage come over and
Next
talk
problem.
to
Headphone splitter. I have one.
We can
Uh,
hear you.
We can.
Oh, my apologies. Let me mute.
The but yeah, Vesa, you see this exchange. Like, it looks like Xander is about to go, then he decides to stay, and then the DJ Crypt X stops and talks to him for a minute, and there's a moment where it almost looks like Xander is going to like walk away, but then something catches his eye and he stays and becomes a little more immersed in the conversation. Like,
Mhm.
how close are you to this?
How close am I?
Yeah, have you like, are you
Um,
just did you
well,
like stick around so you're like right there and see in the middle of this, or did you kind of walk off and go back to the crafts table get something to eat? Are you mingling? What's going on here?
personally, I feel like I never left the crafts table. Like I just stayed there. Like whatever. Ran into the lead singer for a little while, chatted, kept eating their food as we chatted, whatever.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I am in that area, and I feel like Plu would probably be side eyeing me at the same time, like, girl, stop. You know,
Yeah, probably. He's well. I mean,
I am
he's
hungry.
a helpful
Starving.
bit. I mean, yeah. He, I think he's just kind of like. Actually, he's probably looking at you more like, do we need to get a to-go container? I mean, where could I find that?
Let's
Let me
get
help
a
you
good one,
out.
boys.
Can you to go
I'm here.
to container an entire crafts table? Because that's a big box.
I
Right,
mean,
that's a
do
real
they
big one.
have bags of holding in this game?
Yeah, they do. I have one.
Let's do it.
If only I were there, I would lend you my. Fuck, what's it called? My bag of my space bag of holding, we'll call it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Base bag. Yeah,
I
no,
have one of those
I
too.
feel like maybe I'm close enough to catch most of the conversation. Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know. Um, do I catch most of the conversation?
give me a perception check. Let's see if you can overhear some of how much of this you overhear. It'll be a sliding scale.
Okay. That one.
Oh, you pretty much hear most of it. You get a general idea. There's some subtext that you don't get because they neither one actually ever spoke the words Android Abolitionist Front,
Mm-hmm.
and you weren't close enough to see that particular detail. Uh, and it would have been something that like maybe an Android would have known to look for more than Lashunta might have.
Gotcha.
But yeah, there is definitely an exchange there, and whatever it was that caught Xander's eye, he like displays a much higher level of trust for Cryptex afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
I feel like I'd go up to him and be like, "Hey, man, um, are you? Did you just turn him down to going on their tour bus? And can we go on their tour bus? Like,
Xander.
that's fun. Let's go.
Not
Maybe you'll get some help."
not exactly tonight. I'm gonna let everybody finish their partying thing, but I'm gonna gather some information tomorrow, and they have within their database some helpful information that I'm going to gather for my
Assimilate.
research.
Cool. Do you need um do you want an escort? Because well, I'm a diplomat, but also I really want to get on their tour bus. So, like, your choice.
Why not? Should be fun to have more friends.
Oh, good. I'm so excited. Is there anything that you need? How can I help? Because I really do want to help.
yeah.
Do you want some of this sweet monster meat?
Yeah. Do you want some
don't-
sweet monster meat?
Do you want it?
I don't know if I actually had that before, but I suppose I'll try a bite.
Tastes like chicken.
It's good. It tastes if you had to put a real world analogy to it, it's probably a little like crab. Only a little bit sweeter.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. So it doesn't need butter.
Yeah. They're little like they're like little fillet cake things.
I mean, it's pretty tasty. I'm down for it. I can't seem to step away. It might be drugged. I don't know what's gonna happen later. But I'm gonna need you to be on my side and like get me out of a situation.
Those are
Plu's like, yeah. Plu's like, I gotcha.
Hell yeah, you do, Plu. Love you.
he, he- he's like, we're gonna rock this shit.
Yeah, let's go. And
And
then I want to like go party
okay,
because that's
yeah,
fun.
awesome. Yeah, it's a pretty kicking party. I mean, it's a backstage rock star party, so um, we will touch base with you when I decide where you all like wake up. Um, the,
Waking up sometime tomorrow at like 2 in the afternoon.
yeah, and I want to cut away real quick to Serold. So Serold,
Mm-hmm.
you are on Triaxis, and I've already forgotten what the goddamn city I
Kumo.
told you. Kumo, yeah, and
Kumo.
Coomer, yeah, yeah. There's but you kind of were like, you had some idea of where you were going to go. Like you had an idea of like the the post, the I saw it post that was talking about like that was talking about like some kind of cover up transmitted from here somewhere. Um, and you guys were kind of like on the trail of that. How do you want to proceed?
Well, I'm still probably with Calith after giving him his latte with a latte of caramel. Um, and we were waiting for our other friend to get back.
Harak?
Yeah, Harak.
Yeah. Yeah.
And her role.
And you were looking for like Alpha Blith, I believe.
Yeah, Alpha Blith.
Yeah. Um, I think for right now, he kind of comes back and he just kind of shrugs. He hasn't really found a whole lot of anything. Um,
It is good to
would you?
see that you have returned, Harak. We may have picked up a lead.
Yeah, he nods and he goes. He nods and leans in, listening.
We are looking for a gentleman by the name of Alpha Blith. Has such a name come up in any of the conversations that you have become privy to?
I think he kind of like takes a moment. He leans back and he kind of like rolls his eyes back a little bit, like you do when you're thinking, and kind of like, um, you know, and he kind of strokes his goatee a little bit, like while he's thinking, and he kind of, and finally he kind of shakes his head.
Hmm. I believe it might be beneficial of us to begin looking in one of the most obvious of places. Let us consult a local phone book directory.
And, and so you're gonna try to
Find the phone book. Let's find the yellow pages.
trying to find the private like the
Yeah.
directory of numbers. Um, it's it's easy enough to find that. However, Altho is not listed, or if he has a number, he's using a assumed identity. Um, would you guys like to give me some kind of computers check to see if you can if you can? Oh, you could also go with a culture check for a boots on the ground approach.
I will go with computers because that is better than my culture roll.
And say you can even have Keleth help you with that.
Fuck you, 3D dice. That was a 19 and you know it. I've been cheated. I've been lied to. Yeah, I'll have him aid me. Oh, he'll roll well.
Yeah. Um, yeah.
Rhyme?
So I think you manage to uh, you're not able to pinpoint down like a number that might belong to him, but kind of like doing some back tracing on the dark board that you like the truth is a ruse. Um, kind of doing some back tracing on like where signals have come from on this planet for recent posts and whatnot. The only one in this there's only two in this city, and you have one is a location that's tied to a number of somebody, and one is a location that has no number tied to it. Like one is an actual residence, and the other one is what appears to be either like an abandoned building or a parking lot or something, because there's no like communication like infrastructure where it's at.
Occam's
At
razor
least
would
non-functioning.
Occam's razor would direct us to go to the residential facility. However, given the difficulties of this situation, I believe that going to the unlisted site may be more beneficial to our investigation. Would you not concur, Calith and Harak?
Kellis is like, ooh. He goes, well, it would stand to reason that you can't get a signal out from a place there's no signal going into, but it would also stand to reason that somebody could easily have a portable communications device, a portable communications rig to boost their signal that they could turn off or disassemble when they're done with. Um, if Oh my God, we should just go to the residential. If somebody is that stupid to post on a dartboard from a residential, I want to see their face.
I do not believe that they would be so ignorant to the risks. If they were, I believe that we would be better off looking for them in the morgue rather than their residence.
Harak just kind of seems to nod at this assessment that, like, yeah, if they were, if they were that dumb, we'd probably be better to look for them in a morgue. he, he's always kind of no nonsense about this shit, even though he doesn't say anything, or, well, much of anything. Yeah, he's kind of done that. He's kind of doing the thing where he's like, kind of standing back. Are you guys? And Killith is like, well, you're the leader of this investigation.
Then
The choice is
then we should
yours.
waste not a moment longer. We should begin our investigation immediately.
Of course. Where are we going, to the residential?
He's already just walking off towards the parking lot or warehouse or whatever.
He looks at I think Kaleth, as he picks up his stuff and gets to go, looks over at Harak and goes, I think he's been spending too much time around you, trying to be a man of too few words. And he kind of like he kind of gives like the barista a like sardonic bow as he collects his his coat or whatever, his long coat, and puts it on to follow you. Harak, however, simply stands up and follows you. He doesn't. He's just like, okay, whatever. And he just gets up and goes.
Oh, well, that guy's got my paycheck. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, Cyril's going to just make his way over there. He doesn't really. I mean, he's not someone that doesn't stick out because he looks kind of like an adventurer, but at the same time, he doesn't exactly look like he's screaming, I'm a private investigator!
Right. Okay.
But
So
just start heading towards that. And is this like, what kind of part of town is this warehouse in? Are we going into like the East St. Louis of Triaxis?
it is a sort of like area that has traditionally been more industrial than residential. There may be a couple of holdout residentials, people who just weren't going to sell their land to, some corporation to put it something here. But
Way
by
to
and
go,
large,
guys. Your house is now surrounded by iron smelters.
right now your house is surrounded by industry. Don't you love the view?
The Flint, Michigan of Triaxis. That might be
Yeah.
good. I will have you know that Flint, Michigan is the country's #1 producer of broken glass.
But you're kind of, yeah, it's the area around here is mostly industrial. There's also a few places that look like they were at one time businesses that were meant to at some point support some sort of residential or whatever. There's a few convenience stores here, obviously, because people who go to industry or going to work in factories or whatever definitely like on their break and lunch need to go, get hit some fast food or get some, fuel or snacks or whatever. So there's a few places like that around here too. Um, it's not hard to, it's not terribly hard to pinpoint where the signal came from, and it's a building that looks like at one time it was meant to be a. It's a building that looks like at one time it was meant to be like a shopping center, a grocery store, a retail store of some sort. Not a big, huge one, but maybe like the size that we would consider a Dollar General store or something. You know, um, but it's kind of um, but the building looks to have been in disuse for quite some time.
Hmm.
What do you how are you going to approach this thing?
Well, what are the surrounding buildings like? Are there any that seem to be like? Is one of those convenience stores around this building, or a place that looks
Well,
like it's been used recently, or is this like all dumpster zone?
well, it's that thing where it's kind of like edge of, so like maybe like the next block over from this is there's a large like field and whatnot, like a big lot and field. And on the far corner of that block, there's like a little convenience store, and it's worked up a little bit, but the rest of it is just like pavement that, where they had put stuff and then just demolished stuff. And now it's just kind of used for anything. It's just sort of like this back area behind this convenience store, that
Right.
used to be several other places, but are now just like one for sort of demolished lot with one business on one corner. It's like a block away from this building.
Yeah, I'll turn to Harak and Caliph and be like, there are two ways at which we could approach this. We could attempt to investigate on our own, or we could see if anyone in that convenience store has any information on this property.
Yeah, well, and I think Harak just kind of like for his part shrugs, but Kalith is like, ooh, let's go see if a convenience store employee remembers one of a million details that go by his nose every day for very little pay.
Then it has
Sure,
been
I'm sure
decided.
he's gonna remember.
Like, as soon as he says that, he's obviously being like, it has been decided. Turns and starts walking off towards the convenience store.
Yeah, Kalith is like, oh, I love it when you do. He says, I love it when he does that, and just kind of like walks along behind. He's like, oh, and starts musing at what kind of broken life the convenience store employee probably has.
God,
I wonder
this
how
makes
many
me sick.
children he has. I wonder if he has any drug habits. You know, Uh, I wonder how many drug dealers he shoos off every night. I wonder how often he has to clean that bathroom. We should ask what the foulest thing he's ever had to deal with cleaning that bathroom is.
That would not be conducive to our investigation. Besides, we are approaching earshot. I would advise that we not say anything that could upset this convenience store owner.
Oh, you take all the fun out of everything. And
This investigation is about solving crimes, not fun.
yeah, he just kind of, he makes like a mock pouting face, and he goes, "Fine, but I'm going to get myself a frozen drink while we're here."
I would advise you not to eat any hot dogs. Everybody knows that convenience store hot dogs are some of the most vile things in all of the multiverse.
No, don't worry. I remember the last one we went to about, what was it, five timelines or 5 dimensions ago. Oh God, they something about a speedy journey. Is the name of, or something like that was the name of the place. the what did they call them? Taquitos? Oh, diarrhea for days.
I believe
It's
that was the
terrible.
speedy journey from which it gained its name.
he's, just like he's like, yeah, he's still making commentary as you walk in, just like, but once you walk in, he's like, he stops talking to you and starts making commentary to Harak. He's like, he's like, maybe we can get an ice cream bar. And it's like, and like the like go start like rummaging around, like go wandering through the convenience store looking for stuff. And he's like, but you walk up and uh there's some human there, teenager, bad complexion.
This
He
could be
looks
voice teenager from The Simpsons.
he looks like he's some combination of bored and some combination of both bored and annoyed.
Yeah, I
He,
like. Serold goes and gets like a candy bar of some sort, maybe a hmm, what would we call a Twix in this universe? A Wix or something? I don't know. I was trying to think of a space version of a Twix. A Swix?
he was
But
like,
puts it on the counter and is like, "Greetings."
and he kind of looks around and goes, he goes, greetings. And he looks down and he realizes you've put like candy on the table. And he goes over to his register, which is a touch screen. And I was like, oh, this hollow touch screen. He goes, so does the thing. He's like, that'll be that'll be 2 credits, or that'll be 1 credit. If you buy another one, if you buy another one and get a soda, or he goes, if you get he goes, I have to tell you that if you get a soda with this and bring it to 2 credits, you get another one of those for free. And he points at the candy bar.
There's actually a glint in Cyril's eye where it's like, "Ooh, tempting, more candy."
All
But
right.
he's like, "That may be interesting." And he's like, "However, I also would like to ask you questions if you are able."
Able to what? I mean, um,
There's a there's an abandoned shopping facility not far from here. We believe that it
oh
might
yeah,
be involved with some unpleasant events that occurred recently. What can you tell us about this facility?
that place. Unpleasant things happen there quite often. There's unpleasant things happen around here a lot. He goes, um, you know, uh, they say that the local law enforcement likes to hang out here, but it's not as true as you think. And he's like, uh, there's well, I guess if you're looking for drugs, there's people that hang around there that do that. Uh, there's he says there's a bunch of because there's some street gangs that hang around here. It's scrap gangs that really uh, here's as far as bad stuff going down there. I mean, take your pick. There's always something there's always bad stuff going on anywhere in this neighborhood. And this is probably about the point in time where like Caliph from somewhere on one of the other aisles goes, oh, can you believe it? They really want to charge 20 credits for toilet paper here. So typical.
Please forgive my compatriot. He is not as emotionally stable as I am.
And like there's a bell that rings at the door, and and a like somebody coming through the door again. Uh, maybe Harak and Kalith are
Cyril,
over by the slushy machine. Discuss like Kayla trying to like figure out what flavor he wants. But the person coming through the door is a human. Um, he looks you know, he looks a little worse for wear. He doesn't necessarily look like he lives on the streets, but he looks like somebody that maybe lives, that maybe doesn't live in polite society the way everybody else does. Um,
All right. Yeah, Cyril will give him a long look for a moment, and could I sense motive to kind of get an idea if he's here to actually do convenience store things, or if he's here to be like snooping on us?
yeah, you can get a sense motive, and I think, and I'm gonna add to this too, because the kid at the counter is like, "Hey, Mr. B." eh, d-
Hmm.
and 30 is pretty good. He clearly is paranoid about something. He's clearly trying to keep some kind of he's clearly like um you get reading the situation, he must come in here an awful lot because the kid, so the kid at the counter definitely recognized him and called him Mr. B, and is kind of like pays him that mind that you would pay a regular. As for this guy, he seems to be like he looks at you and suspiciously, and he looks at Harak and Kaleth kind of suspiciously. He's also kind of looking around a little bit more than you might like. He's cautious about something.
Yeah. Cyril like taps the candy bar on the counter and is like, "I believe I will take you up on your offer." And walks back and gets another clicks the Sheeran special and taps it to the counter with the other one and is like, "And a large soda, if you please. The caffeine shall aid us greatly."
Yeah, he pulls out a cup and he points over at the drink machine. He's like he's like 2 credits, and he points over to the drink machine where you get your drink at.
Slide him 5 credits.
Okay,
And I'm
yeah,
like, "Your information has been of great use. Thank you."
and he just kind of like he kind of goes there. I think there's a moment where he does the best sleight of hand he can to shuffle 3 of those credits away into his pocket, like he's not supposed to take tips or something. um, yeah.
And
So
as I'm assuming that me and my compatriots have some kind of like a way that we can talk like through a headset or something, or like through our
um,
communicators.
well, I mean, I don't think Kalith has an integrated, and I don't think either of them have an integrated communicator. If you communicate with them, or if you're
Do I have
speaking
a
out loud,
spell?
everybody in the room is going to hear you because you don't have sub-vocalized communicators.
Do I have a spell I could use?
I mean, if you have telepathy or with spell or special ability, perhaps.
Um, I'm actually going to cast Augury. Specifically, as I'm over at the getting my drink,
Mm-hmm.
Sarah like does a hand gesture and then holds his palm out to himself as he's thinking, uh, "If we confront Mr. B, will this bring good or no bad results?" I will spend the
Mm-hmm.
resolve point for it. Basically, if this will be a whale or a woe.
Hmm. All right. So I guess I will. Hmm.
Or the magic 8 ball could just say, "Ask again later."
Let's see. Okay. um, it would probably be Wheel and Woe.
Fuck. That's a tough one. Yeah, Cyril's going to pocket those candy bars. He's going to put the lid on his soda, and he's going to kind of like motion for the others to follow him out.
Yeah, Killith is probably like, one moment he'd pay for the drinks. He goes over and like he and Harak both have some sort of frozen slushy type drink that they've got. um, but they're but they follow out after like it takes them a second to pay, but they follow out
Dark raspberry Dominion flavor.
something like that. in vile raspberry.
But I'm specifically once we get outside, he just kind of like steps off to the side, out of the way where no one could see us through the door, and just says to the others, "We are being watched. We will confront this Mr. B."
And Kayla goes, "Ooh, confrontations, always so tricky." And he goes, and there's this moment where like Harak looks at him like, "Is that it?" And he just kind of looks back like, "Oh no, by all means. I was trying desperately not to waste so much time."
That would be a first.
Maybe. and yeah. So you're gonna go confront this Mr.
We're waiting for him to come out.
Oh, well, yeah, he's already he comes out a few minutes later, and he's got like a pack of cigarettes and a pack and a 12 pack of beer.
So, using the fact that I wear this poncho to hide it, I'm going to try and keep my gun drawn as we start tailing him. And then just call out me like, "Cigarettes are bad for your health, Mr. B."
He kind of turns, and I think at this point, give me what's your land speed?
30 feet.
Okay. Give me an initiative here.
Oh, this motherfucker's gonna run. Shit. Fuck. Damn it. Do I want to... I can theoretically get a higher roll if I use my, what's it called? Alternate reality or alternate outcome or whatever. But is it worth
it? Just shoot him in the kneecaps.
Yeah, I do 2d10 damage with this gun. I'm afraid I'll just fucking blow a leg off. Infinite World Paradigm. I could also use one of my Infinite Worlds. But yeah, I think I'm going to use... What's it called? Alternate outcomes to re-roll that.
Okay.
Besides, that was actually the wrong initiative roll, I just realized. I'm an idiot. That was Cal's initiative, not mine.
Yep. So technically you won't have used your alternate outcomes because that was Kelly's initiative. But 17 is good enough to to keep pace with him. How are you going to stop him?
Alright, let me look at Infinite Worlds, which is too fucking long of a list because I can make all sorts of environmental. Okay, I'm going to expend a first level slot to create difficult terrain in front of him.
Alright.
Where basically we see Serold waves his hand, and this portal just opens up on the ground, and a mass of snow and rocks from some tundra world just erupt out of the ground and make everything hard to walk through.
All right. So it reduces his land speed, but he's still trying to get away.
I'm still following after him, like, you will stop resisting, Mr. B. We do not wish to harm you.
He's like, he doesn't reply immediately. Like to.
Let me look at my grenades.
I'm gonna look at something here really quickly, because Callus might have something he might do. Maybe.
I could flash grenade him if he keeps running too.
Nope.
If I had hold person, this would be easier.
That's what I was thinking. But such is not to be. But yeah, they.
Do you have an
attempt
entangle
to-
grenade?
You can attempt to
Do not
tackle
have
him.
Do not have an entangle grenade. Let me quickly look at my spells. Fuck, I should have just greater invisibility and then went after him. But, yeah, I'll just try and sprint up and tackle him.
Okay, give me an attack roll.
An attack roll? Just like a standard melee?
Yep, standard melee attack roll.
Damn.
Nope.
Now I'm going to alternate outcomes, because that's just bad.
Yeah.
Hi guys, I'm Tiff. What the fuck?
Oh my god! Wow.
Fuck.
Are you gonna have Caleth try to tackle him?
Yeah. Fuck. Oh, Caleth can roll good.
That's enough. Yeah, I think Caleth manages to, like, maybe he just kind of like chop blocks him, like tackles him like at the knees or whatever. And almost as soon as he's getting around, he's just like, I hope you know you're going to be paying for the dry cleaning on this coat.
Yeah, I just walk over with choked eulogy in hand. And I'm like, now, are you going to answer my questions?
And here's where we're going to cut away. Because we're going to cut back over to the Blue Ember again. Merch, you have made it to the Blue Ember. And Twinkle, you're on the Blue Ember. Twinkle, where on the Ember are you at?
Twinkle is probably in his room working on something, most likely connections.
All right. I think like as you're kind of like doing your thing and what have you, there's a probably a moment where like you look out your door and you see an ooze just go by down the hallway.
Who goes by?
An ooze.
An ooze?
What appears to be an ooze.
Yeah, we have a surfer dude ooze now, just saying.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, you missed out.
And the eye rolls are
I'm
hard.
gonna draw my sidearm and step into the hall.
He's got a pass.
Yeah, there's a moment where like it stops and like it stops where it's at and there's a and a face forms like in the its
Creepy.
jelliness looking at you, like facing your
Jelliness.
direction. Its ooziness looking in
It's
your
a
direction,
jelly.
and it looks at you and it goes, "Oh wow, man! Hey, like I'm new here. Like I think I got a little lost. Where's like the med bay?"
Okay, Twinkle has pulled this one so many times. He's not buying this unless it's told to him by someone else. He's gonna grab his comms and ring up the captain.
It's like,
My fucking eyes are watering. I can't.
Hey, captain.
Yeah, this is Captain Zai.
Yeah, so I've got an ooze here
Slug.
in corridor 3. Is this one of ours? He says he's looking for the med bay.
Oh, he got lost? Yes.
Supposedly.
Yes. So he's a new hire.
What?
His skill set is one we don't already have.
Oh, okay.
He can
What would
slip
that
into cracks.
besides sliming up the corridors?
That damn straight. That's what I
Ah.
said.
"Hey, he's
So many racist people on board my ship.
Fucking slug.
Look, Captain, I clean up after my own fur mess. What's he gonna be doing about his
Are we
trails?
like hooking a mop up behind him so he can just
he doesn't actually leave a trail. That'd be like leaving a part of himself behind."
yeah,
Not
but
only
where's
that,
fishing?
I go, look about 20 feet behind you, and there's Bucket.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Bucket has a purpose now.
Bucket's
Cleaning up,
always been like a cleaner though.
cleaning up after the slime and probably all of the slime that Glycil
Okay, so if
leaves
he's not
behind.
leaving a trail, then it's back to point A.
One of
where
these
he's picking
days,
up all the
somebody's
crap
going
off
to
the
say
floor.
that stuff in character, and Glycel's just going to knock somebody down. He's been to prison, I'm just saying.
He's been to prison.
I told you
I'm
I was
saying.
going to mess you up.
lowering sidearm?
Listen here, I told you that I didn't do that. All I do is eat from the garbage.
Whatever you say, Captain. Close the communicator. All right, you're
Yeah,
gonna
he's-
take a right through the next bulkhead and then down the down the access corridor. It should be on your left.
Opens
Uh-huh.
door, room full of hula girls.
Oh, nice. He's like, "I'm Ashley, man. Or is it girl? I don't know genders, man. It's kind of.
Girl? Who are you talking about?
Are you a guy or a girl? Like I don't know, man. Like no offense if that's a
Oh.
thing that offends you, but I don't know,
Oh my
man.
god, you just see him mad.
what are
You just see the anime anger cross appear on Twinkle's
Yeah,
forehead.
right on the forehead.
Twinkle, it's not the same as like when you pick up a mouse in the real world and you're like, oh, this one's a boy because it's got a big fuzzy, and the other one's a girl because it doesn't. Yeah, I stopped myself. Calm down.
He wouldn't. He wouldn't know anyway because he's an ooze. He doesn't know genders. He knows
All
shit
right,
about
buddy.
genders.
Just call me Twinkle and get the fuck out of here.
He's the ultimate flood sexual.
Oh right. Okay, man. Okay. Would you? Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay.
Where's the
Twinkle.
whole sentence,
Christ,
please?
new people
He's like.
going into his
He's-
room, shutting the door behind him.
It's kind of.
That's funny.
Think so.
Or just see that. What was that movie? That kids movie? With the spaghetti and everything was falling from the sky.
Cloudy with a
Cloudy
chance
with a chance of
meatballs.
meatballs.
Yeah,
Yes,
Cloudy with a
I
chance of
just-
meatballs.
Listen, all I'm seeing is that fucking Jello mold.
Right, which means he's a good guy. So
Is he a
let's just be
celibate?
happy. Yes.
Yes, he
Yeah.
is.
Yay!
Right. And
Either
yes,
way,
he should be
Twinkle
able to
had
slip
enough of
under
two
some
people.
cracks.
Stay the fuck out of my room.
Got a fucking surfer dude and a drug lord.
Seems good.
Wait until you get the private investigator and his
Yeah.
fucking smart-ass comrade who won't shut up.
and the and the the politician's daughter and the
and my Stitch, because
Oh, you
And-
get Lilo and Stitch.
and
Yeah.
you're
But
and you're
Lilo's a bitch.
and and an android scholar eventually. But yeah, there's a moment like Merch. This is about the time you make it to the Blue Ember. Zai, are you still standing outside by this point, or have you gone into the ship?
I would have probably gone into the ship after I got the phone call of, why do we have a random ooze on board looking for the med bay? I'd be like, maybe I should try and get him to the med bay. I'm sure Glycel, who doesn't leave slime trails because, I said so.
I said so.
So, yeah. Thump, 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 thump. Hello, Glycel. Has the ooze made it here yet?
Yeah, we'll get to that in just a second. I just needed to know if you were still at the because I want to get to Merch here real quick. Merch, you walk up to the Blue Ember where it's you and Nurse Jerk Dezeal, where like you were told to go to. It is a fairly massive and mighty ship, and you can see the Fire Shrike, docked over on the side too, which is
I'm
also
sorry.
a mighty ship.
Right.
And Shaba, you see a very small plant creature and a drow elf walk up to the cargo, walk up by the from the external sensors.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna casually walk up, and I'm gonna be like, you must be Shabayan. I
Well,
have.
she's actually not out there.
Oh,
She's
she's
watching
not
from a
there.
control.
Okay,
Yeah,
my bad.
she's watching from a control room.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna, find my way in and immediately find myself. Is there a synthesis bay on this ship, or only a med bay?
Good question. Although I think as a biohacker, you don't necessarily need a synthesis bay.
No, I don't. It's just
Okay.
if there
Easier
is,
I have
immediately
a
claiming that
synthesis
territory.
bay, a med bay, and a science bay.
Well, I'm going to go to the science bay, and I'm gonna just immediately start unpacking all of my things, and yeah, I mean, I'm gonna message the
Finish
captain.
the sentence.
Sorry.
No.
I'm gonna message the captain. Well, I'm gonna call him.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Maybe you're on your way. Yeah. Maybe you're on your way to the med bay when this call comes through.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
I'm like, Captain Zyvoveto, it is a pleasure to talk to you. I have a question.
I have 13 answers.
Ah, excellent. I love a myriad of choices. Now, who is your current science officer upon this ship? You know, the one who makes sure that all of the science experiments go well and fine?
So Glycil is in charge of most of those things. There may be a project or two where, well, no. Yeah, mostly Glycil, because Ezelaide has left us.
May I have Glycil's number so I may speak to him?
You should have got that in your startup package.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that I would get that. Yeah, merchant.
No. Remember, everyone that comes on the ship gets the same basic package. It's like, here, if this is not better than what you're currently wearing, put this on.
Yeah,
and then burn all your other stuff.
Burn all your other stuff. You now are part of the captain's
You also
icon.
got, the 4 hours of don't be a slef.
Yeah.
Unless
4
this is the
fucking
only
hours.
time where slef is being, this is good. Be a slef.
Yeah. I'm going to I'm gonna say my apologies. My day planner is currently not yet out on the table. As you can imagine, I am all out of sorts at this moment.
I mean, I can go ahead and give it to you if you'd like to skip looking.
Oh, sure. Like at this point, it's just clerical work. Like
5. Okay.
But,
there you go.
yeah, I'm going to call Glycil.
Hello.
And he's just like, Hello? Who is this?
Hello. You must be Mr. Glycil, correct? What is Glycil's last name?
He didn't. I don't think he necessarily has one. He's like,
Oh, okay.
Glycil will do.
What did you say?
Glycil will do.
Yeah. Excellent. Mr. Glycil, I would like to compare notes in the current research lab to see what our current scientific standards are, if that would be all right.
He's like, have not answered your question. You have not answered my question. Who are you?
Oh, my apologies. I am a new crew member. My name is Matthias Dishborg. You may call me Dr. Dishborg, or you may call me Merch. My friends call me Merch, and I hope that we can be very close friends.
Report to Med Bay for a physical.
Somewhere in the world.
I appreciate how cut and dry you are, my friend. I have heard that you are more cartilaginous, so your contrasting personality is very interesting to me. I will see you very shortly. Nurse, and he just hangs up immediately and just says, Nurse Jerktazil, please begin preparations of sterilizing this area and doing what you do, making sure that this area is friendly for me. Yes?
Understood, Doctor.
You may report to the medical bay as soon as I come back here. I can continue your work, but there are a few words that I must have with this Osharu.
What are you saying? Very close friends somewhere in the world. You hear, yeah, fucking
right. But yeah, I'm gonna go to the med bay.
All right, you're headed towards the Med Bay. And I kind of want to check in real quick with Ashira.
She's fucking dead.
Ashira's dead, huh?
Again.
What is Ashira dead for?
I'm tired. I'm fucking so tired. What's up?
No, I'm just checking in to see what Ashira is up to at this point.
What the fuck just happened?
Like you know that there was an ooze that just went by, and that that there is that you're on Broken Rock. And for that matter, Zai hasn't exactly explained, other than making a stop at Broken Rock, why you're in the Pact Worlds. For that,
I mean, at this point, do I even question him?
Yeah.
Relationship if we're at this level.
Right.
Hey, you never know. Maybe Zai's a clone.
Shit. There can be only one Islander.
You say that.
You say that. I also say I don't enjoy the bad guy from Roger Rabbit.
When I killed your brother.
It can't be Christopher Lloyd.
It's goddamn.
I took just
like this.
By the way,
I fucking can't. My eyes are watering. Stop it.
Ashira, part of the mail that all of you who are from the Pact Worlds, when you came back in, got all kinds of messages and mail because you haven't been in the Pact Worlds for a while. You have packets from your family, your mom, trying to convince you to stop running around with a bunch of criminals, but also telling you that it's not to. She's telling you not to come home because you're a wanted criminal.
Wait, I'm a wanted criminal now?
Yes.
Weren't we all wanted criminals? I'm confused.
Well, you are all wanted criminals, but she doesn't give a shit about the rest of the crew at all.
You mean don't go to Castroville?
Yeah, she's basically
Fuck that
like,
place. I don't want to go to Castroville.
She's like, don't come back to Soyvarian because you're a fucking wanted terrorist, and you should probably stop being a wanted terrorist.
I don't want to. It's too. We have too much fun. It's too much fun.
Yeah. So
You say that, but yeah, it's annoying sometimes. I'm just saying.
I don't know how I feel about the ooze.
Yo, man, you're just gonna have to just chill.
I cannot be a crew member with the fucking turtle from Finding Nemo.
It's not the turtle from Finding Nemo. It's the chicken surfer from Surf's Up.
No,
Is it? Where
it's
was the
Otto
turtle?
from The Simpsons.
Oh
There
my
you go.
god, I can't.
Might as well be Ed from Ed and Eddie.
There you
Well,
go.
and then we have the German plant.
Yeah, we
Right,
have
that's true.
literally fucking
You know what? I will
Dr.
be
Joseph Mengele.
I will be thrilled if we gain a member that's like the plant in, what is it? The Feed Me Seymour. Shop a Little Horrors.
Little Shop of
Little
Horrors.
Shop of
Yeah.
Horrors.
Yeah.
I don't
Can we
necessarily
have
know
him?
if we want an invasive,
I want him.
destructive, murderous plant. Of course you do.
I'm just a mean green mother.
We'll
Man in
call
space,
it
man
a
being-
Venus flytrap.
Oh, so bad.
Some fucking plant that just sits in your cargo bay and sings every now and again.
Yeah.
About how it is a green
behind that.
mother
Yeah,
from
I'm
outer
gonna watch that
space.
movie tonight.
I guess.
Maybe we should just get her a Kraken ape. Or whatever we call them, I forget.
There is
Feed Me Seymour.
there's a moment where do you actually
Fucking Xander's cracking me up.
nice. Do you actually have some sort of I think probably did you contact Qualu and let him know that you've got 2 new people or 3 new people
Did I?
No, well, did Captain Zine?
Negative.
Nope.
Negative. I've not technically done that, but at this point it's probably prudent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, they're going to need security clearance and all of that stuff that we do.
Well, and depending on
No,
where you
I have to admit,
tried.
we're probably one of the few pirate crews that are also terrorists known throughout the galaxy that when you get hired, take a DNA sample. No, they're very thorough. They took a DNA sample, a hair follicle, a blood test. They asked me about my genealogy. It's the craziest interview I've ever had to be a pirate.
They wanted to know they said they wanted to have as much information as possible so they could try to clone me, but they don't have technology for cloning, so I don't know what that means. So you're kind of this is the point where maybe you get you send Qualu a message, or do you call him?
Nah. Well, yeah, I'd make him show up. I mean, why wouldn't I?
Okay, yeah, he does show up and in the med bay, and he has Rack with him.
I high five
well-
Rick
Well, yeah,
when I get there.
it's awkward, but Rack is down for it.
Right? He's getting better.
You get there, and Merch, you managed to make it there. Glycilla's already looking over a I don't know, give me a life science check to see if you know what a settlement is.
Sure, I mean,
Because
I
you
can't
might
really
know.
think unless I roll a nat 1 that I'm gonna not know.
Well, I still give me the roll anyway.
Yeah, roll that nat one, son.
Nat one.
One. Two.
Close enough.
Nat 2, but I'm
That's still plenty enough. Yeah, it's a
Right. I could have wasted my thing in one, but yeah.
Nat one.
you,
I was
Did
baffled.
Twinkle somehow give him a -1 to that?
ha.
Or -3.
Give him, in fact, a nat 1?
all right. So you've heard of these before. There are intelligent oozes out there. They're pretty new to space exploration. They haven't been getting to their world. They don't really have a lot of drift beacons, so it takes a while.
Do they
And
all sound like we're harshing their buzz? You're harshing my
That's
buzz.
definitely something that we should do. We should find someone that can help us make more drift beacons, so it's easier for us to go places.
Yeah.
but there's a but they're kind of there and maybe Glycil is kind of looking over it, and was like, it's very interesting. I've never come across this before. I'm going to have to do a little research on this. He says, but I would postulate and I would theorize that your anatomy doesn't work like a typical ooze's. He says, he goes, and he's like, I'll have to run a few tests and run a few tests and make some scans, kind of get an idea of how your biology works, so that if I need to, if there's a need, I can work.
Destroy you.
Well, Zai says as he walks into the room.
Yeah, Merch like walks up as he's doing the examination and totally becomes invasive in this examination. Like he's like now just embedded himself in a part of it.
Yeah. Glycil just keeps like trying to like measure, like, give me some space and let me work.
And
like,
I'm going to look at him and be like, that is fascinating. It appears that your pain receptors are separated by large gelatinous membranes as opposed to any sort of neuronic weave. This is very interesting. I've only read about you in textbooks a few times.
But very interesting. You're next. Just back off for now. Let me do my job.
My apologies. My eagerness is one of my few weaknesses, my friend. And I'm just gonna like slowly back away on my mule drone.
Yeah, he's just like he kind of looks he kind of there's a moment where he looks at you, Zai, and you can tell Glyso well enough to tell when he's a bit annoyed. Like to most anybody else who doesn't know him, it just seems like he's a bit depressed all the time. There's subtle nuances in that, and you've sort of learned to read them. That was
Right.
depressed.
When I do read that, I make a low whistle for just a moment, and a few moments later, Goat will walk in.
Yeah, there's.
And then I'm like, DLF, because I can't actually remember Michael's new. Oh, Merch,
Yeah.
my DLF. Give my friend there some space. Believe it or not, he can be taxed beyond his niceties.
I understand, Captain. I am of course backing up. It is my apologies. Physiology is a pet project of mine that I've always enjoyed. You'll have to forgive my eagerness.
No. And once he gets to know you, it'll be okay. But at the moment, you're someone who's supposed to just, be waiting to get samples from.
Of course.
In fact, if you'd come, prepared, he would have actually loved you so much.
Well,
could have been like, here are my samples.
You do understand I do in fact have samples of myself. I find it very important to do what I call anatomical journaling. It is another pet project of mine.
I like it. We are still going to take a fresh sample, and then we'll compare it to the samples that you've given us.
Certainly. I would not like to lie
protocol.
to you, but I understand your mistrust of a new crew member, especially one who is as eccentric
Unique.
as I.
Eccentric? Unique? Yes.
I think everyone is unique in the same way, are they not, Captain?
And yet, the semantics there could go on for hours, and we don't have that kind of time.
You're right.
Glycil is ready for you now.
Yeah, Glycil is done. He's like, well, come back after you've settled in. We'll run a few more tests. And he's just to get a good base. I've got a good baseline for now, but I need a little bit more information. And he kind of like, and you, and he looks at and he's like, it's like plant physiology.
Yes. Huh?
Very interesting. A little bit, not quite like the Kaisers of Castrovel, but
right.
more similar to the Gorons.
Actually, that is interesting you mentioned that. Believe it or not, the Osharu and Xeraxilites share many intellectual similarities. We are often scholars in both of our cultures, correct?
There is no difference between religion and scientific pursuits.
An interesting way to look at it, for sure.
Oras teaches that all things must evolve, must change, and in service to that, the biology and physiology of all things change accordingly.
Oh, what a
there.
delight! Another devout follower of Oros. And he pulls out like a small like charm that he's wearing as a necklace that like
Yeah.
looks like like that is the symbol of Oros or Oros.
He's like, he nods and he goes, yes, then you understand at least some of what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Hmm.
And yeah, he's kind of doing
I
his,
definitely say you did earn some brownie points back though.
and I think there's a moment where like they're like Qualu is kind of like it looks him up, looks over you guys, and he's kind of like, he says, what are your skills? And he looks at Oshni, and Oshni is like, well, man, I take. Sorry, I'm bad with this whole gender thing. Is it girl? No way. You, person of another species. Yeah. He goes, I take the cosmic forces of entropy and barriers and reaction and action and kinetic force, and I use that, man. I take it, and like if somebody hits me, and then I absorb that force, man, and then, I absorb that force person, and then I use it, man, and I throw it, and when I hit him back with my force and their force.
I mean, this is spot on for this guy, man. But I want you to know right now, he makes me want to sedate myself.
Yeah, no, you see like Merch has like an unwavering smile, but there's a slight twitch in the corner of his mouth as like this guy just keeps going on. I do have a question, by the way. How clean is this med bay?
It's very
Exceptionally.
Exceptionally clean? Excellent.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's
I mean, it's brand new.
Yeah. Fair.
Well, not only that, but like Glycil is a professional about how he keeps shit. So,
Yeah, he's not slimy.
Yeah, so it's not like normal clean, it's like advanced clean, like white glove test. Okay, good.
It's scientific clean because he
Like
is.
when Bucket tries to enter the med bay right now, he's like, "Oh, everything is done," and turns around and goes and does something else.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah. There's probably the moment where like he and Qualu's like, perhaps I could use you on the security force. If I am not mistaken, you are a vanguard. It says, and you. He looks at you, Merch. He's like, I'm guessing your skill sets are not in the combat variety.
Well, I have not actually gotten to test myself in the combat form. However, I have some inklings that some of my research may be very useful on the combat field as a boon to my allies, and of course as a bit of a pox upon my enemies, if we are to be quoting literature. The main things that I'm good at, though, is back end. I'm going to be making you quite a bit of money. And in exchange, I would just like to be able to peacefully research, as I have been so interrupted upon that hellish star archipelago.
He just kind of Qualu looks at you, Captain, and is research and development then, but.
Yeah, let's put him. We'll just say he's in charge of manufacturing medicinals.
I would say I fear that you are underutilizing me. However, I shall prove my worth in time.
No, that's just for the books. You call yourself whatever you want. If you want to be the Viscount of Vices, then so you shall be.
He's like, oh, very good, Captain. I think that joke was an exceptional landing.
And he kind of was like, and Rack, which he's this SRO, and he's got a fairly like he kind of looks at you guys. Goes, Well, it is my duty to welcome you to the Fire Shrike, and it is my duty to tell you all that as
The
members
blue ember.
of the Fire Shrike and the Blue Ember, you you are as a member of this crew, you are expected to well have each other's backs, and if you betray the crew or the captain, I'll have to kill you. I hope that doesn't happen, but I it, but if you do, I have to kill you. Mm.
If you were to sense motive, it is the truest statement you've ever heard.
Yeah, Merch would like look at him and go, "That is absolutely delightful. You seem a man who is genuinely concerned with the quality of his work and the understandings that everyone is on the same page. I think we shall get along, Rack."
He's like, he goes, well, I certainly hope so. And he, and it's like, and I think there's a moment where he's like, Quolo goes, he's like, he looks at you, Merchant, he goes, if you feel you are being underutilized, then perhaps if you are any good at, he says, then if you are any good at information gathering, perhaps you might speak to Shaba. But if
Hmm.
you are not good at information gathering, then perhaps it's waste of time. Mhm.
I know my way around a conversation, my friend. I might actually seek out this Shaba. I have heard she
No,
has a
no.
long and illustrious tale.
You hear Twinkle in the background. No, no, don't assign him to the same thing as me. No, no, please. Anything.
Mm.
And I think I want to drop back over here real quick to Vesa and Xander. So
Vesa.
were you guys you guys were waiting until the next day to go to the Empty Man 14 and talk to Crypt?
I'm so hungover. I partied
Yeah,
way too hard. Good
yeah.
stuff.
You wake up
It's
in a
okay.
fountain.
In a
There is
fountain?
Yes,
you wake
yeah.
up you wake up in a fountain and there is vest security there they're like, you're in violation of the law. Loitering in a fountain is strictly prohibited. I'm going to have to ask you to move along.
I mean, okay. My bad, you guys. Like, my bad. Sorry. Just crawl out.
Yeah, I think Plu, uh, I think Plu, like sits up, bangs his head on the park bench that he's passed out under, and it's like he goes, "Oh, ow, 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 ow!
Does he
Wow,
keep
what a
banging
good
his
time!"
head?
Ooh. No, he doesn't. But he's just, it's that you bang your head and you're like, and it hurts. He goes, wow, that was a great time, but ow, that's a really not great headache. Ooh.
You're gonna have to pull yourself together because we gotta go on a tour bus, and I don't know what we're gonna do. Probably party more. I don't
Did you
know.
guys exchange numbers with Xander?
Nope.
He's
That.
just gonna show up there and hope he's there because he's your
Yeah,
ticket. He's your ticket on, and then
he
he's
is.
just like wait, stand there and wait. Um, Xander, what are you doing? Like you I'm guessing you probably didn't party as hard as Plu and Vesa.
No, I hung out for a bit as whatnot, and then went back to my suite room or whatnot,
Mhm.
and did a little research on that emblem, just my own personal knowledge thing, so that I would have the information and then could get the information from the computer as well, so I'd have as much knowledge as possible.
All right, so uh, give me a computers check or a culture roll here. Well, yeah.
Alphabetically, because they're the same.
I'm sorry, what? Okay, you're 25. Um, and Shaba, I'm assuming you had audio feed on all of the interactions you've been watching.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, you probably and I think the captain probably did the captain send you something on one of them at least?
Indeed.
Yeah. He sent you about he sent you like the name of the Selamid, the ooze. Xander, what you find out about this is that this cult symbol has been popping up in the Vescarium a little bit more recently lately. Um, you don't find any direct connection to the Palunas Independence Front necessarily, but you do find out that people wearing that there have been people that have been kidnapped that and eyewitness accounts that this symbol has been seen uh, on the attackers or in the vicinity of attacks. But what exactly it is, there the Vescarium doesn't have a full picture of yet.
I figured it would be a shortcoming, but not as much here. Figured more would be better on the ship. All
Mm-hmm.
right. So at this point, we're gonna reserve our power for the night and rest up, and then get up tomorrow. I
Okay.
have a feeling they probably partied a lot, so I'll make it like 11 a.m. that I'll go to the ship.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
not awake at 11 a.m.
You still pass out in the fountain.
Till like 2.
um, yeah, so you managed to make it to the Empty Man 14, and there's an you know the ship is closed up at the moment, but you do have Crypt X's number.
I forgot to get that girl's number. Oh crud! I wonder where she's at. Maybe I should
That's
find her. She seemed eager.
You try looking around.
Yeah, since they seem to be locked up, I'm gonna go find Vesa first.
All right, Vesa and Plu. All
I
right.
I do want to note that because I was like wet from being in a fountain, we had to have gone back to the hotel and got changed because I'm not going to roll around like that.
Well, I don't think Plu was going to either.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, yeah, so you would manage to get back and get showers and get cleaned up. Uh, Xander, it takes you like looking around and whatnot. You go back to the stadium hall with the where the concert was at, and there's she's not there. There's crews there working on deconstructing the stage and getting resetting it for sporting events. And there's you go you go kind of go looking around the go back to the consulate and look around. She's apparently not staying there. um and you kind of go looking, or it's not until probably a good what would equate to us to being somewhere in the late afternoon that you manage to find her, um kind of coming out of kind of I assume probably coming out of the hotel,
Oh yeah.
um, and whatnot. You see Xander kind of walking or like walking in that general direction, having spent most of the day trying to track you down.
Hi. How are you?
Yeah, for future reference, we should get each other's communication device and connection.
Oh,
Holy
yeah.
cribbles.
Yeah, I mean, like, what time did you get up? We got up just a little while ago.
About
We
5 hours ago.
Oh,
We
oh,
we
sorry.
slept in a park, and it was
It,
great.
it
Oh,
was so
so
much
was it?
fun.
It was great. No, it wasn't.
No.
Well,
I
until it
I
was.
had fun. It was great. I'm pruny. I'm pruny because I fell asleep on a fountain, but I'm clean now. So hey, let's go do some stuff. What are we doing? Do you have does this world have like the equivalent of an aspirin or something?
Yeah, there's yeah.
Okay, cool. I need that. 'Cause I need that so I
Here's a
can
dog.
continue. Yeah, totally.
You know, seriously, I think Shaba found her new party partner.
You may have.
Well, hasn't found her yet, but potentially.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, there's but yeah, you kind of get motivating, or you kind of get uh I assume you're going to the ship from here.
Sure.
All right, yeah. You get there, and the ship is still closed up, but Xander, you still have Cryptex's number, so
Call him or text him, whichever. I'd probably call him. Sound more personal that way.
yeah, yeah. You get an answer. He's like, hello, my friend. He's like, hello, my new friend. Um, he says, I see you. He says, I see you ready to take me up on the offer. He says, give me a moment. I will be right there. Like, you wait a couple of minutes, and then the cargo bay door comes down, and there is Cryptex standing there waiting for you. Skin, more or less a bluish color, and his hair is like this vibrant neon red. And he's like, ah, he goes, and he goes, and you've brought friends. He goes, come, come. He goes, I believe I may have found some things that will be of interest to you.
Okay. What you got? I didn't find much on my end.
Well, he comes he's like he kind of leads you towards the computer, like the science station. Actually leads you to where he's got his computer set up in his room, like his personal. And uh, he's like, so I did some digging, and he kind of moves the chair away from the desk so you can kind of both stand around it. And he goes, and he types on it for a minute. And and he pulls it up. He says, this symbol. He says, so I was searching the Vescarium's computers, and it seems that there is very little information. But then I remembered that the keepers of secrets there, to be quite honest, they're not as good at finding secrets as they're better at finding secrets, I should say, than most people think. Uh, Most people believe that most of what they talk about are not actually true secrets they have found, but I'd say a good 65 to 75% of what they have found, of what they are talking about, are true secrets of the universe. They don't really know what all of it means, but then again, they don't have enough to have a clear picture. This is a symbol of the Dominion of the Black. And he pulls up an information tile, and it's got like a little thing. Not much is known about the Dominion of the Black. They are rumored to be a faction on Octurne, battling with the cults of the older gods and the cults of Nyarlathotep. which is probably why the keepers have found it somewhere. But in any case, if this Dominion of the Black is here and they are abducting people, we can only wonder why at this point. As for your friends that in the Polonus Independence Front, well, I did a little digging on that as well. Apparently, the Patra that intervened on your behalf are connected, as Major Sarkaz suspected. They're Krevesh Patra. Very unstable. They've done things to themselves to make themselves more intensely physical, uh, which would explain why they were holding their own quite so well against the Vesk. Have you had any dealings with this occult, with the Dominions of the Black? Have you heard of them at all?
Not on the forefront of my database. I cannot place it. Um, at one point or another, I might have, but that might have been earlier days, but I don't recall specifically at the moment.
Well, whatever it is that they want from you, I can almost assure you that it isn't good with a name like the Dominion of the Black and with tactics like kidnapping. It would seem that they have some purpose in mind. And tell me, what is it you do, and where have you been of recent?
Well, I do research for books and whatnot. I'm trying to update information on different things throughout the packed worlds and whatnot to make sure it's up to date database. Um, where I've been, I'm not entirely sure where.
You had been coming from the Marixa Republic with some data on one of the planets out in that direction.
I mean, the trip I was taking was from the Marixa Republic when my ship got messed up and put me here. So,
It's like the Marixa Republic. Interesting. They are a smaller but becoming more successful nation of their own, so to speak. Perhaps someone from the Marixa Republic felt you had gotten too close to something. Someone connected with this cult, with this Dominion of the Black. It is my understanding that there is entirely possible that they have agents there. If they have agents here in the Viscarium. Whatever you were researching, something about where you were researching or what you were researching seems to have been of some importance. At least that's the theory I would go with right here. Normally, I would think that there would be kidnapping you for trafficking, but considering there's a number of different species that have been kidnapped, I don't believe it is specifically aimed at androids, or sentient or artificial sentient life forms.
yeah, it totally seems like I crossed some information they don't want others to know. Okay.
He's like, and, and he kind of looks over. He's like, I'm afraid that's all I can give you for now. It's like the Dominion of the Black is based off of Octurne. It's very dangerous. The keepers have gone there from time to time, but they have good relationship with with Carsey the king.
Well, that is a lot more information than what I had before, and it will help me figure out what's going on then.
The thing I don't understand is why the Polunus Independence Front got involved. It's a mystery to me. I admit I'm a bit baffled on that. Their interests are more about freeing the home planet. And he kind of, yeah, he says, I
That's
hope
my
any. Sorry, go ahead.
research. Yeah, I'm thinking that's my next area of research is to figure out why they were helping.
All right. Yeah. So I think Crypt is like, I hope this is been informative. And Vesa, the inside of the Empty Man, and you probably have heard the stories that they call their ship the Empty Man, named after one of the rumored avatars of that Nyarlathotep will take.
Hmm.
That is, and you're well aware that they have wrecked their ship many times, but it is the party house you expected it to be. There are still people passed out all over the place. Like, in fact, going to Crypt's room, Crypt's is the only room in the place that doesn't have the remnants of parties strewn about.
Hmm. Nice. I'm gonna like meander and look for a fridge and get a drink.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's easy enough to find, and it's well stocked with nothing but alcohol
Of course.
and lots of it. Uh, but yeah, you find yourself something to drink, uh, and
Everybody
that
like out?
hmm,
Is everybody just passed out?
pretty much. I
Okay.
mean, yeah, there's that thing where like maybe like some automated cleaning drone keeps bumping up against like people who are passed out as it attempts to do its job, but it's not really getting anywhere.
Cool.
It's
So
just
I'll just get the drink and then go back to my new android friends and be like, "Hey guys, did you want anything?"
yeah, I think Crypt is like, uh, hmm, no, I think I'm okay. I've had,
Okay.
and he looks over at Xander and goes, "Would you like anything?"
No, I was only seeker of information. I'm not parched, ready for any drink at the moment.
And
Hey.
kind yeah, and I think he's kind of like, he's like, well, since you're here, might as well sit down and enjoy. He says, you know what? I think I will have some hot tea now that I think about it. Let's have a sit and and speak for a while. I would love to hear more about whatever research you were working on and whatever brought you to the Pact Worlds. Is looking at you, Vesa. He's like, I mean, like maybe he goes over and maybe he's like goes over and gets like a kettle, like an old school kettle, and then sets it on like high tech, this high tech burner on like his little kitchenette. And he's like, and sets out cups and whatnot. And he's like, And maybe he even breaks into his own fridge and kind of does the whole deal where he's like where he kind of like offers up like pastries and stuff. And I think that's kind of where we'll fade out, where you guys kind of talking with Crypt and doing the whole Crypt thing,
Mhm.
and we'll and I think we'll do we'll leave it at that, and I think we'll open with Serold next week because I want to. There's some stuff to tie up with him, and we'll go ahead and get sign-offs accomplished because it is getting that late, and some of us do have to be awake and at work early in the morning. So
I have to be awake at 6.
I have been watching and seeing
I'm slowly
that
dying.
which is why I'm going ahead and signing
I
us
mean,
off.
you didn't have to, but I have to go.
No, well, we're good because I have to get up early also. I typically get up at 5 a.m. So
Oh, fuck you. You have that.
Gross.
Take that
I
and run
hate
away with it.
I fucking hate it, but I do it because the money makes it worthwhile. So everybody mail me your Player's Choice Awards.
Okay.
And let's start our sign-offs with Scott. Why don't you go first?
Okay. Scott, Psych, whatever. Pick a name, I'll take it. Okay. So, tonight I played Xander, which I am in the middle of research to figure out why these people hate me so much and why these other people are trying to help me. But we'll figure it out. Let's see. Today's Monday, so tomorrow night I'll be in Star Wars as Mala Steel, who is the Jedi dude that heals you. Forgot what type of Jedi, but he uses the Force to heal you. Yeah. And then Wednesday, I'm in Hinch to Minch as Knight, which at this point I am the general grocery shopper dude. And I go and shop and get things because it's easy to go into a store invisible, pick up a few items, and take them back home.
Did you remember the milk this time?
Yes. No. Maybe. I don't
Did
remember.
you remember what else you're supposed to get?
Hey,
The snack cakes, damn it!
I got the snack cakes, I got the beer, and I got the cereal or whatever.
Cereales.
I think that's everything.
Okay. Let's see. And then on Thursday in Legacy of Stramdex, I'll be Snith, who's a psionic dude that's doing something for a university to find out information, I guess. And then depending on whatever Saturday it is, if we do Flesh and Fire, the Apocalypse World, I'm Jake, the mechanic dude that has no idea what he's going to do in a outright war. We'll see. Or if we do Legion class wrestling, I'm going to be playing Adam Mason, who is the manager of Bear the Boulder Breaker. And then on Sunday, I think it's still called Tales from the Strikeverse. I'm Chess, and next time I get to be very useful because I can make fire out of myself. But yeah, that's it.
All right, awesome. Let's move on to Amy. You wanna go next?
Sure. Hello, I'm Amy Gedden. Tonight I played Besa, who snacked on monster meat for a while, got wasted, woke up the next morning in a fountain, and then decided to go and maybe possibly get wasted again with my new android friends. And um really that was it. But that's okay because that's a good time. And there will be more of them. I don't play any other games right now, but you can catch me playing Animal Crossing or not, because now I picked up Xenoblade Chronicles. It's a problem. And that's me. Yay.
Cool. All right. Um, Scott, Mike, and Gunner, I still need your player's choice awards votes. But moving from there,
I
let's
was
go.
gonna say, if you would, you'd let me go, so then she can go, and then she can go.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's
Alright.
go. Let's jump over to
So,
Colorado.
hi, I'm Captain Zai. I play here on Monday nights with the crew of the Fire Shrike. It's my favorite night of the week. Sometimes on Saturdays, I play Rita Throat Rod, a boy that likes to dress like a girl and wear leather and spank people when they're really, really happy. And then I play in some other stuff. We have a lot of fun. Yeah, we have a lot of fun. You hush, you're tired.
I know,
All
but
right.
it's so funny right now.
Tonight's episode was brought to you by Boards, Booze, and Bitches. It's food worth dying over.
I
And
know,
Naughty Nina's Porn Emporium.
If you want it, then you see it. Alright, Naughty Nina's gang.
But now for the most important commercial of the night.
Oh,
My
God.
friend Purple Codex sells t-shirts at tpublic.com. They are both amazing and fantastic. And if you use the link on her page, you'll save 10% because they're not on sale right now.
Boo.
But this is a 2-part commercial because it's awesome.
No.
And James, please, if you would.
Ain't got a lot of ethics, but they're fucking epic. On to be purple merch.
I can't even fucking deal with this right now.
And now on to Purple Codex. Dun 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 dun. Who's tired?
I am. I missed last Monday because just personal stuff, and which I don't miss very often. That's like probably the second time I've ever missed a round. But
You always miss for a good reason.
yeah. Well, sorry guys, I'm calling in and go fishing. No, which happens at my job. Call in and then they go fishing and then they get ridden up because they weren't sick. God, there was something I was going to add tonight, but I can't remember what it is because my brain has died and gone from it. Fuck. Oh, I'm hoping to get some playtime with Reaper again and stream some more like Warzone and shit, but right now I'm so wrapped up in GTA RP. Like I have 2 storylines and I'm just trying to keep our roleplay straight and then be a Shira one day a week and fuck, you know? Be a Shira 1 day a week and be Kitten 2 days a week, 2 or 3 days a week, and then on Wednesday nights and weekends, I have to be Casey, the British chick, and I just need to fucking focus. And I just can't.
It's super cute. The average guy on here plays like 12 people a week. And you're like, oh, I play 3.
I play 3. I can't even handle the bit.
I
They're
play
all
5
fucking
in
crazy.
one day.
That is true.
You're not a
But we'll get
female.
That sounds like you have a compulsion.
He does.
James
I'm
does
here
have.
for that.
Not wrong.
But anyway, yeah.
James
so
has a personality disorder.
you'll be seeing me play some stream some GTA. I haven't streamed Casey yet, but I will be soon. Some new developments on Kitten. She's been in the Los Santos for a week now, and she's already in a gang, so that's a thing. And oh yeah, one of her fellow it's an all female game, and one of her fellow
Yeah, I can see the Jester for the first time tonight.
Yeah. Hey, that's Jester. We haven't seen you this whole time.
Yeah, you just
I
haven't
did
been
not realize that.
Yeah. But anyway,
It's
yeah,
okay.
I'm not with that kind of drop. So, but you guys have a good night. I am gonna go pass the fuck out.
Bye,
Good
love
luck.
you.
Get out.
All right. So
Bye.
let's move.
Bye.
Let's move on to Twinkle.
Hello, ladies and gents. My name is Twinkle Bailey. Or is my name Cyrus? I forget. Merch, can you help me here? No.
Good lord.
Anyways, you just saw me playing, yes, Twinkle Bailey, the isekai, who's got a grudge to pick with everyone, apparently. Whether you leave slime trails in the halls or not. And yeah, you can also catch me playing. Let's see, Wednesdays playing Acer, the sharpshooter who is frustrated that you picked up a box of snack cakes from the store. I get that night. However, you opened them on the way home. Can you just leave them closed until you get home?
I had one. I had one.
This is a
left the other
family.
7 for you, and maybe me for another night. I haven't decided yet.
Yeah, that's my point exactly. Also, we discovered we're not so good at the breaking and entering part. I mean, we broke a lot. Don't get me wrong.
We did fine until the Doombas showed up.
Yeah, the deadly Roombas did really put a damper on the night, didn't they? You can also catch me on, let's see here. Now, it was Wednesday, Thursdays playing Heracles, the paladin who is getting dragged all sorts of ways, including ways that aren't exactly paladin-like. Arson, attempted murder, battery, assault. Great times. Let's just hope that.
Citricide.
Yeah.
It's a typical Tuesday.
Brian, I like how you're just kind of staring off into space as he's kind of describing everything that you do in this game.
I'm
Blame
reading on my
anybody.
other monitor.
Not to blame anybody or anything, but let's see. You can
Go
also
ahead, I
catch me
got big shoulders.
You can also catch me next time. Next time we play Spark of Fate, playing Mulch Ampershard, the dwarf who is so fucking ready to be done with magic. To be fair, he is a magic user, but that doesn't mean he can't be tired of magic. You can also find me on Sundays, where I run Tales from the Cosmos, where this time I've really done it, guys. I said, you know what? Everybody can run as many characters as they feel comfortable with. And immediately, someone decided, I'm just going to bring this whole party I've been working on. Looking at you, James.
He just literally faces into the camera like,
So, if you want to tune in and watch a egregiously big party, when I say egregious, I mean we don't even have Brian's characters sorted out yet. We're already up to 17 characters in the party, including NPCs.
Still smaller than the Fire Shrike crew.
Facts.
True.
That's because we were like, I want a boat that got 20 people on it, minimum.
But at
Hey,
the same
you guys
time,
wanted to upgrade. You were like, "Oh, 3 ships is too many."
No, I agree, but that was also going through our heads. I want 20 people minimum.
But you do have to understand, this is going to be just as much fun for me as it is hell, because I get to watch James argue with himself all session long.
Now, will the audience enjoy this? Definitely not. But this is hubris in action, folks.
No. I did the wrong yay. It was more like,
Oh, God.
Oh, God. All right, so that brings it back to Monday, so that's me.
Get
Word.
back on camera.
Let's go to Brian.
Yes, it's Brian. I played Shaba Young tonight. He's now somewhat, I think, paranoid.
Yeah.
Intelligence officer, because she's doing the Big Brother things, like spy with the cameras. But yeah, we'll see how that turns out. Maybe she'll get demoted to captain of the Fire Shrike. That would be funny. But yeah, also Tuesdays I run this Star Wars game set within the Old Republic with my 3 gray Jedi and smuggler. It's hilarious, some of the stuff they get into, and hopefully we'll find out what they get into this week. Last week was a little busy with some other stuff, but we are a go for tomorrow. So hopefully that happens. Thursday, Legacy of Stramdax. I play Ka, the Goliath female with the big F off weapons. Yes, she's a fighter. And yeah, hopefully we can get into a fight soon. I hope, maybe.
My
Someday.
apologies.
That's okay. We need to talk later anyway, Mike. I can't make it this week. Anyway, we'll talk after. And on Sundays in Cosmos, I'm not sure who I'm going to play this weekend. I know I'm going to play one person, at least, minimum. Yeah.
Bring 5 like
we'll
me.
figure that out.
Bring 5 like me.
No, I'm not insane. I might be crazy, but I'm not insane.
Is it paranoid
But,
to think that everyone and everything is against you?
No,
It is.
that's just truth.
But what if they really are?
Like I said, truth. And yeah, that brings us back to Monday. So yeah, on to the next person.
Awesome. I believe we have James.
I'm not crazy. You're crazy. I'm the only sane one here. Oh, sorry guys, I was arguing with my cat. Hi ho, friendos. My name is James, otherwise known as Nightheart, and you've caught me here today playing Sarah Silverchild, also known as Sarah Silverman, the human, boo, boring, witch warper, yay, not boring, private investigator who bought some candy today and is now, like, threatening an old man with a shotgun. I'm a chaotic good character. And we'll see. Shaba spies with cameras, Sarah spies with wizard eyes. So, say goodbye to your privacy, because the Fire Strike's going to turn into 2008 era USA, because the Patriot Act is coming for you. On Tuesdays, I am in our Star Wars game where I played Chait the Grey Jedi, who fucked up a Hutt last time. Just fucking blinded him by just gouging out his eyes with a lightsaber, like you do. And then the guards at the bar were like, oh well, we'll just dump Slugman out the front door. I hope he found his way home. But, you know, I have 2 lightsabers. Double your pleasure, double your missing limbs with double lightsabers. On Wednesdays, I am part of the Hench to Mensch, where I play Martyr, the superhero who needs to be charged up before combat by having his friends beat him mercilessly with a baseball bat. Kinky. And who we have found out does not like robots because he was nearly murdered by 5 or was it 6 Doombas? 6, yeah. The one that grabbed him, then the 5 more that eventually got bored and just decided to go grab an NPC and nearly murder him. And then when we were done with that, he almost got killed by a robot German Shepherd, a robot Mastiff, and a robot Chihuahua. That fucking house, man. We should have burned it to the ground, not the car. Because clearly we invaded, like, fucking Batman's house or something. Or I guess in this case, Dogman. The Dog Walker, that was his name. On Thursdays, I'm part of Legacy Strandex, where I play Seifel, the Tibet Duskblade turned bonded summoner who has very bad luck, and who has a angry cloud that follows him around named Precipitous, who has many hats, and who will probably die in this upcoming combat. And on Saturdays, depending on the Saturday, I'm either in one of many different Justice grab bags, or you can find me in a Spark of Fate, where I play Marin Farcaller, the boring old human sorcerer with a not-so-boring fairy pretending to be a fruit bat named Zamzam.
I love Sam.
And on Sundays, this Sunday, be there as I play 5 characters all in one because I have no restraint. The DM keeps giving me character sheets and I just keep going with it and it's gonna be fun. Unless you don't like my voice, which I wouldn't blame you. I don't like my voice either. In which case, don't come by Sunday, but don't tell Just I told you that. And there's me, I'm in everything.
Well,
I love
that,
James.
that takes us to win 5, get 1 free.
Hello, everybody. This is Mike, also known as Win 5, Get 1 Free, and you've just got me playing Matthias Merch Douchberg.
Douchebag.
Douchebag.
Douchebag, yeah. Um,
Schmertz.
Douchenbag. But no, the little plant man who clearly knows everything about everything, right? But you can also catch me on Thursdays when I run Legacy of Stramdex, except probably not this Thursday because it's a combat that I have balanced around everybody, and I am sorry that we have had 6 weeks off from this. This is an embarrassment to me personally as a GM that I have had a large hand in that. So I'd like to formally apologize to the audience. We will get back to it as absolutely soon as possible. Empty promises, something on the wind, something, sad chorus. Saturdays, I am in various Justice Grab Bags and Black Box Theaters. I like to play as Beef in Apocalypse World, in the Apocalypse World game, Flesh and Fire, and in Legion Class Wrestling. I like to play as Doyle, also known as Eastern Bloc, who's kind of trying to figure out his own little image. If you want to catch us on YouTube, because you're watching on Twitch right now, and you want to rewatch this, go to youtube.com/Paradise Theater, because that is our YouTube channel, and we have things that are uploading to our YouTube channel. It's pretty crazy. I know, Chris, isn't it wild?
Wild. It's wild.
Yeah. And then, if you want to catch us on Twitch, because you are currently watching on YouTube, catch us on Twitch, where we stream every week, multiple days a week, at twitch.tv/pair_o_dice_theater. And if you want scheduling, updates, and hot memes, you can catch us on Twitter at Pair Theater, where we do the Twitter dance. You know what I'm saying? You can catch my music at soundcloud.com/thathoon. I have been working like a dog on a lot of things. I know I keep saying I'm going to have things out, and I'm going to keep saying it, and eventually things will be out, and it'll be great. But that is me.
Awesome. All right. Well, I guess that brings that back around to me. So, first of all, bookkeeping wise, everybody give yourselves 800 experience points. And the winner of tonight's player's choice is Shaba. Give yourself an extra 300. So there is that. With that said, I am the Just a King Zerat. You can catch me here on Monday nights for Fire Shrike, my favorite group of space pirates, space terrorists, and never-do-wells. You can also catch me here on Tuesday nights for the Old Republic-based Star Wars game where I play Zerkina, the Twi'lek smuggler who is obsessed with credits. We were going to take a vacation, and then there was an opportunity to make credits, so you know what we picked. You can also catch me here on Saturday nights where I do a number of things. Either I am here when we do finish Skitter Crash, I will be a part of that as Gazagaz, the Skittermander envoy, or many different Justice Grab Bags where we do use Apocalypse World system for Flesh and Fire, which is very Mad Maxy with an element of crazy psychic fuckery. And we also use the Worldwide Wrestling system to make fun of, pay homage to, and have a crazy good time with professional wrestling, with Legion Championship Wrestling.
You want to get a burger after? Oh, fuck. Hot mic. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's... apparently somebody's going to have a burger, and now I want one too.
I want one too. It's all his fault.
I got a couple in the fridge, so hey, I'll take care of that.
There we go. Just shove them through the internets to us. It'll be fine. Where was I? Oh yes. And for superheroes, we take the old Mayfair Second Edition DC heroes, and we take away all of the DC. We throw that aside, and we do Faulty Comics Presents, which is its own superhero universe. And then on Sundays, you can find me for Tales from the Europe Menagerie. uh, which will be working title for the time being while I'm working on things. But where we also do more Starfinder, it is characters that exist within the same universe as the Fire Shrike, but aren't necessarily directly connected to. Although there are some crossover things and Easter eggs and what have you here and there for those of you who pay attention. And with that said, I believe that is it for us tonight. Let's get an RIP Fern and get out of here. RIP
R.I.P.
Fern.
Fern.
Bye.